let's have a look here. Things that you need to know about today's call. Taki is a good friend of mine. I've known Taki now for a good 2 or 3 years, I think. To be honest, I forget how we met, but he's one of these people that within the first, 10, 30 seconds of knowing him, you just feel like you've known them forever. People that are aligned with your way of thinking about things. He's really incredibly practical and down to earth with his business advice, but a hell of a lot of fun. My kind of person, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you will agree with me that he's your kind of person as well. He's just an awesome all-round individual, but incredibly astute when it comes to the business side of things, which is why Taki and I have been in conversation since really the beginning of this year to find a date, tie it down, and bring him to you, because I know that what he shares is just so complementary to what we cover at Shift Speaker Training, where we focus on growing the speaking side of your business and getting you out there in a big way speaking. Taki is really focused on getting you more clients for your coaching and one-on-one work, which is what we're really wanting to make sure you are. I want you to get really busy, right? Really, really busy, and then leverage yourself through speaking. That's always my aim. So we want to make sure that we do that for you. So this training is really all about getting you clients super fast. So it's a real pleasure for me to introduce Taki to you. Taki, thank you so much for joining us on the call. I'm really, really looking forward to sharing what we've got here for the guys. I want to go through it, but first I want to say a quick hi. So you are there and I can hear you, yes?
I am here and I can hear you back. Great to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Awesome. There he is. It's always a good sign, gang, when you can hear the person who's supposed to be doing most of the talking. So I've got a few questions for you guys. Let's try out the little hands up section of your control panel. See the little yellow hand there? Let me ask you, how many of you have ever wondered why it seems so hard to get clients? Like, have you ever felt that bang your head against the brick wall sort of thing of like, why is this so hard? How many of you have ever had that feeling? You've worked really hard to develop your skills as a coach or a trainer, but you're just thinking, this is too hard. Pop your hand up and leave it up so I can see how many of you have experienced that frustration. Tak, it looks like we've got well over 40% and the numbers are keeping rising there. So I think we've got people in the right place on that one.
Yep.
Okay, bring your hands down for that. How many of you have ever thought about why people just don't get what you do, right? Let alone throw money at you to be their coach? How many of you have thought that it's so hard to explain what you do, people just don't get it? Raise your hand up if you've had that particular frustration before. Raise your hand and keep it up. Let's see how many of you have that experience. Looks like we've got 28, 30, 40, well, probably, yeah, heading up there. So we've got about 28% of hands up there, and I think some people are still finding their hands as we get started. So you're in the right place, gang. You're certainly in the right place. And how many of you have ever wondered what would happen? Okay, how many of you have imagined this little scenario, right? You wake up, your diary is filled at the start of every week with perfectly qualified prospects who want to take action right now and trust you so much that they're requesting a meeting with you to see if you can help. Raise your hand if you think that model of the world would be an amazing reality to wake up to. Whoa, the hands are going up pretty quick on this. I love it. Awesome, guys. That's fantastic. We've got more than half of you got your hands up on that one. As I say, I reckon the ones that don't have their hands up are probably still figuring out where their hands are. I love it. That's what today's about, guys. Taki's going to take us through exactly which marketing strategies work and which ones are guaranteed to cost an absolute fortune, probably fail miserably, and actually potentially even damage your reputation in the marketplace, which is not what we want. We're going to take you through exactly how to get 2 to 3 business coaching clients in the next 11 days without making a cold call or spending over $200 on marketing. Who reckons that sounds awesome? Who'd love 2 or 3 clients, new clients in the next 11 days? I think that would be awesome. If you don't want that, then you're probably in the wrong place. He's also going to take us through the 3-step system that generates leads for your coaching business and has them literally begging you for an appointment so that they convert into clients really quick and really easily. Even if you're not into marketing and selling, this is why I love Taki, because he's very much aligned with my way of thinking about things, how to sell without selling, how to market without marketing, how to just become attraction-based. Taki's really regarded by many, myself included, as the world's #1 business coach marketing expert. And even though he's really focused on business coaches, everything he's going to be sharing in the webinar today will be as applicable to getting non-business coaching clients, consulting clients, speaking gigs. You'll be able to translate things across the board into any area of your business with just a little bit of thought. Every month, hundreds of the world's most successful coaches are using Taki's strategies to get busy, book appointments, fill seminars, sign clients, you name it. So I know it's going to be an incredibly entertaining call, an incredibly exciting call, and with loads and loads of proven tools to help you grow your business. So Taki, welcome.
Thank you, Rockstar. So good to be here. Shall we do this? What do you reckon?
I reckon we should do this, buddy. I reckon we should absolutely do this.
All right.
So what I'm going to do, Taki, is I'm going to hand over to you because I know you've got your slides and you've got a whole bunch of information in there.
Okay.
I'm going to keep my eye on the question box here, and as we go through, if there's anything I need to stop you on, I will. But otherwise, I'm going to let you do your thing because you do it so very well.
Thank you. I've got my thing fully engaged today, so that's a good sign. I just want to double check. Can you see my slides?
I can see your slides. Can everyone else see Taki's slides as well? Let's see. I'm getting some no's and some yeses. So
okay, if you can see something with a...
someone can see them.
Yeah, if you can see something with a rocket ship on it, then you can see my slides. Can you see something with a rocket ship? That's probably maybe
Yes, we can. Yeah, there we go. People can see it. Not quite sure if they know what they're looking at, probably. Right. Awesome.
Well, rock and roll. Welcome, everybody. I am so pumped to be here today with you guys. What a joy to be able to hang out with Joey, one of my business buddies and a really kind of kick-ass mentor. Seriously awesome at what she does. So if you haven't been along to one of her events, you really should get your butt over there because I have. And it, geez, I'll tell you what, it made a big difference. It was really fast and it was incredibly, incredibly fun. So I just want to say thank you, Joe, for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward to sharing 90 minutes of my best with some of your best guys here.
Awesome. It's great to have you, buddy.
Thank you. Looking down the list of the people who are on the webinar today, and there's some familiar faces, some old friends, and then there are some people who I haven't met yet who hopefully will be old friends soon. So if we haven't met yet, my name's Taki Moore. I'm the coach marketing expert over at moreclients.com.au, and my job really is to put you in front of opportunity and get prospects in front of you. That's kind of my deal. So today's webinar is really simply about this. It's called Ignition, and I would love for this next 90 minutes to be like the spark, the catalyst, the ignition, which kind of sets you off in a different trajectory and takes you from, frustrated and maybe struggling to 30K a month in the next 90 days. Now, I know the slide there just says 30K. 30K is cool, but 30K a month is better. And so I just want to let you know that this, this kind of training that we're going to do right now is built on 4 or 5 core case studies from clients of mine who recently have just gone from, literally when we first met, struggling, some of them, at break even, some of them just getting started, and some of them kind of negative several $1,000s up to $30,000 a month in 90 days. So that's kind of my aim for you guys.
Awesome.
In terms of what we're going to cover, firstly, a little bit about my style. I want to make this interactive. So firstly, I'm not going to do it because I think interaction is a good idea or it's kind of fun or it's engaging. I want to make this interactive because if I ask you a question and you tell me what's going on in your world, then I can really tailor my content. I've got some killer stuff to share, but I can really tailor it and make sure it matches you and where you're at. Is that cool? So we're gonna chat backwards and forwards using that little question box that you've been using already. So just kind of find that, and in a minute I'll ask you a couple of questions just to kind of get us off and make sure I know exactly what you need and where you're at. Okay. Secondly, I'm going to give you the straight truth. I'm going to give you the world according to Taki. I've been working with coaches and consultants and speakers since 2004. Thousands and thousands of people have come through my programs, and I've seen literally thousands of things which don't work. I've seen so many coaches and consultants kind of start out bright, with bright, shiny, stars in their eyes, and then not make it. And I've seen tons of things which don't work. And I've also seen the things which work almost every single time. And so today I'm going to show you what not to do and what to do to make sure that your marketing is pulling the results. Even if you don't like this marketing thing, even if you really got into this thing because you want to coach or consult or speak and not, market and sell, I'm going to show you how to get people to come to you so you don't have to do the yuck stuff and you just do the bit that you really, really like. In terms of content, the number one thing I really want you to get out of this webinar today is this: that you can get more clients. You can eliminate roller coaster income. I don't know how you've been going kind of financially over the last few months, and we will have that money conversation pretty soon because I think it's important to kind of start with what's going on. But we want to eliminate roller coaster income. So there's not the yo-yo where things are good one month and looking up, and then they're terrible the next month, and you're freaking out. And we don't want that roller coaster, that yo-yo thing anymore. We're just going to smooth that out and make every single month you have more clients than the month before, you have more income than the month before, and you're kind of feeling good and have more confidence than the month before. That's kind of my goal. And the third piece of
I
all,
remember that, Taki. I remember that roller coaster when I first started my coaching business. Some months were amazing, and other months I didn't know how I was going to feed myself. It was awful. That
yeah,
is such a killer, important point that we can solidify and create something that's sustainable. I love it.
exactly, so that every month is better than the month before. Now, the
Mm.
third piece of this is that we can do it all without having to chase prospects anymore. So I don't know what your experience has been like of marketing and selling, but a lot of people have a little bit of fear and a little bit of desperation around it, and clients can smell desperation like big scary dogs can smell fear. It just doesn't work very well for anybody. And so what we want to do is we want to choreograph the marketing and engineer the sales situation so that prospects are coming to you, and you don't have to chase, you don't have to cold call, you don't have to network or kind of knock on doors anymore. People are just going to come to you. That's where we're going to go. So we've got 90 minutes and we're going to cover a ton of strategy. I'm going to give you my very, very best for 90 minutes. And at the end of this, I'm going to show you a system where you can take all of the different pieces that we covered, every piece of this, this 90 minutes, and install it into your business so you can get results even faster. So if that sounds like a killer webinar, if you think you're in the right place, can you just do me a favor and find that question box and say, good to go? And I'll know that you are ready to rock and roll as I am.
Looks
Lots of
like
good
we're
to go.
getting lots of good to goes here, Taki.
I
I
love
love
it.
it.
I love that Ben has invented GTG as the new, LOL for good to go. That's awesome.
Oh, GTG. I love it. Go Ben. GTG. That's like OMG, but better.
It's like OMG, exactly. So listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you
OMG,
3
GTG.
questions. And what I'd love you to do is, for the first one, just type in your answer into the question box. And literally, this is just going to help me know exactly where you're at right now, what you need the most help with, and I'll make sure that I give you everything I can to make sure I deliver on your questions right now. So do me a favor, just take 10 seconds and into the question box, should you just type in, what's the hardest part about getting clients for you? And Joe, if you could be the reader of the answers, just for kind of 30 seconds or maybe something like that, that would be really helpful for me.
Sure. All right, let's have a look at some of these. So Manuela says getting leads, as does Ben. It sounds like that's quite a common one. Kasha is saying starting out. Emma's saying getting them to recognize that they need a coach. I really get that. Sometimes you can see that someone needs something, but they don't see it yet. Brett, getting good quality leads seems to be really big here. Barry is saying getting myself known. Marley is saying fear, and Simon's saying confidence. So I suppose they're kind of related, having fear, not having enough confidence. Let's see, mechanisms, getting leads. Lorenzo's saying to get the client to realize the value I can add. So I guess that's similar to getting them to know what they need. Getting known as the go-to guy, says Darren. Marie says finding them and converting them. So it sounds like we've got a broad spectrum of some people who are starting out with lack of confidence, fear around the whole process. Some people are struggling to get the leads. Some people are struggling that they've got the leads but not getting them to be able to convert and understand the value of what it is that they're offering. Convincing them that I'm good enough, etc., is coming up a fair bit there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think they're kind of the key things. Most of it is variations on that.
Thank you, Joe. That's totally brilliant. So I scribbled down some notes as you were reading them out. And so a couple of things kind of brought up that I'd love to kind of comment on. Firstly, there were some really practical questions or kind of problems around, getting myself out there, about marketing, about convincing people of value, getting in front of people, that sort of thing. And then there were a couple of internal questions, kind of mindset and confidence and fear. Can I just say up front that I don't have any mindset mojo? I don't have any NLP brain voodoo skills. My solution to the mindset problem is if I can get the people to call you and ask you if they can join, even if you're a bit scared, if we can get you some clients, then kind of sales and marketing is going to fix the mindset problems pretty quickly. Hopefully that's okay. And if you do need to see somebody a little bit more voodoo-y, then be my guest, but I'm not that person. Is that okay? I'm just going to be the nuts and bolts dude. Is that cool?
I love it, Taki. That's awesome. If they need some voodoo, they can come back to me. I do
exactly.
That stuff.
You've definitely got some mindset mojo. So listen, so if I think about the other things that people said, there were really kind of a few big things. The first one was about, how do I find these leads? How do I get my message in front of people and get people to respond? So that we're going to totally nail that today, I guarantee it. Secondly, a big one which came up was about how do I get people to actually see my value? So don't just think, oh, that's a really nice idea, but they actually go, that's exactly what I need, and they're willing to spend money. And so we want to talk a lot about a little technique that I call pre-selling. And if you can get pre-selling right, it means you don't have to do hard selling. And a lot of us love what we do, but we hate the sales bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get the marketing to do 90% of the heavy lifting. So people come to you ready to rock and roll instead of, at cold and you've got to take them to sold in 45 minutes. And that's a tough gig unless you've got some serious jobs, right? So we're going to talk about how to get leads, how to get Joe, I'm so sorry, dude. I've got a little bit of a cough thing going on.
You've got a tickle in your throat, haven't you, buddy?
We totally do. If you could just reach through
That's
the
all
webinar
right.
and
If you
tickle it,
need to
that'd
have
be
a little
awesome.
cough, let us know and I'll sing a song or something while we...
That's totally okay. So how do we get leads? Secondly, how do we help people see your value so they're ready to just get started? And thirdly, not just get leads, but how do we get people to want to meet you in the first place? Because a lot of this is going to happen through a conversation. So how do we get somebody to actually want to sit down with you or chat with you over the phone or on Skype and actually get started, right? So that's, I reckon that if we cover that, we're in a good place. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. I need to let you know up front. These questions are not your ordinary questions. They're not the sort of questions that you would normally have a total stranger ask you. We've only just met, so I haven't really got the right to ask you this, but I want you to just bear with me for a little bit. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I want to let you know up front that they're kind of personal. They're about your income, and I want to let you know that when you type in your answers, I'm going to keep you 100% completely confidential. I'll read these ones out, Joe, and I'm not going to mention any names, okay? So what I want you to do, I'm going to ask 2 questions. Please don't write anything down until I say the magic word. And let's make the magic word zucchini. Okay, that's our magic word for the day. So don't write anything down until then. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I want you to just kind of think in your mind. Please don't type anything in. What was your income last month? Just kind of get that number in your head. It'll only take you 5 seconds or 10 seconds. I'll just give you a little second to think of that magic number. What was your income last month? Don't type anything in. There's no need to. 3, 2, 1. Okay, you got that number? Awesome. The second number I want you to think about is what number do you want it to be each month? What do you want your income to be each month from now on? So if you could wave a realistic magic wand and kind of have that magic number pop up, what would the want it to be number be? Now, what I want you to do, just keep those numbers side by side. And I'd love it if you could type them together into the question box side by side. So if last month you did, I don't know, $5,000, maybe you write 5,000, and right next to it you put a space and then $10,000 if that's the number you want it to be. If you're just getting started, you did 0 last month, write 0 and you want 10,000, or you did 20 and you want 40. Just type them in side by side. And I'm going to read these out without reading any names. Let's have a look. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to type those in. Thank you, people.
And we've got people from the UK and also you'll get some pounds and some dollars.
Yeah, and I'll probably get some Americans doing dollars, and that's totally cool. Just gives me a little bit of an idea. So just getting started. 0 and I want 10,000. Awesome. 500 and I want 10,000. 600 pounds and I want 6,000. 4,000 and I want 15,000. 3,000 and I want 10. Perfect. 2,000 and I want 10. That's pounds. 15,000 I want 12,000. Perfect. 3,000 I want 10. 5,000 I want 20. Thank you. 1,650 want 17. Awesome. Just getting started. 1,500 and I want 6,000 pounds. Awesome. 0 to 10. 1 to 5. So good just to get to know where you're at. That's really helpful. Thank you. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take those numbers and just subtract them. Just go, this month minus what last month subtracted from what I want is going to give you a difference. So maybe you're at 5,000 and you want 10,000. There's like a $5,000 difference. Just want you to do a quick little piece of math. That's the only math you're going to have to do the whole time, I promise. Here's why I get you to think of that number. That's the most important number on this webinar today. Because if you knew what I was about to show you, if you knew what I was about to share over the next little while, you would have already been at that second number months and months and months and months ago. I guarantee it. It just happens every single time we do this. And because you haven't learnt this stuff yet, it's not your fault. Nobody's shown you how. Because you haven't learnt this stuff, it's costing you the difference. That number, the difference between the two, it's costing you that number every single month in what I like to call ignorance tax. And I don't mean that rudely at all. It's not that you're ignorant. It's just like nobody helpful came along and showed you this thing. And so I want that number to be a little bit of a driving force today. And I'm going to be a little bit blunt, and I'm going to probably talk a little bit more about money and reality than many people would on a webinar for people that you've just met. But just bear with me for a second. I want that number to come true for you today. That's my goal on this webinar. Hopefully that's yours as well. Joe, is that cool to talk about cash and reality like that?
I think it's really important, Taki, because sometimes we can get so into learning our coaching skills and so into wanting to help people and so into all of the things that keep us busy but that make us feel good that we totally ignore the money conversation until it's too late, really. So I think it's very important that we have that conversation.
Yeah.
And my guys are pretty open to that. I think.
Yeah, that's
so
totally.
You should be safe and sound. I don't think we'll have too many.
That's good. I think one of my mentors says that all progress starts with telling the truth, and I think it's just good to know where we're at. So listen, let's get started. I wanted to let you know that in this webinar, we're going to be moving really, really quickly. I've deliberately slowed my voice down right now, but some coffee's kicking in. I can feel a little bit of an energy surge bubbling up in me. So we're going to be moving really quickly. At the end of the webinar, like, take the very best notes you can, do the very best you can do to take great notes. But at the end, I'll let you know we can get a copy of my slides, a copy of the recording. Both Joey and I are recording right now. And so, make sure at the end you ask me, because I'll probably forget. Just ask me where you can get a copy of the recording, and I'll make sure I let you know about that, okay? So let's get started. I want to start by sharing a case study. And the reason I like to teach with case studies is because you can learn so much about what to do and what not to do. In fact, the Harvard Business School is 100% built on the case study method. So I want to show you one of my favorite case studies. In fact, this is probably my favorite, holy mackerel, if it's possible for him, it's possible for me, stories of all time. And it's from $30,000 in debt to $32K a month in 87 days is the story. And so,
whoa, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. And what's even cooler is I'm about to show people how they can do it too. So the story's cool, but don't just get inspired. Get practical here. December 15th, a little while ago, I was driving down this windy road with my wife and my son Jotham. He was 16 or so, on the way to his high school sports graduation, sports awards night. And we didn't know it then, but he was about to win Sportsman of the Year. So it's like 7 o'clock at night, maybe 6:30. It's dark, and we're driving through this windy road felt like through the forest. And I get this phone call from a guy I haven't met, and he says, "Hi, my name's Simon. We haven't met yet, but I'm friends with Craig, who was one of the dudes who I worked just above. My office was just upstairs from his." And he said, "Taki, I really need your help. Craig's told me you might be able to help me." And I said, "Well, what's going on? What's the situation then?" And he goes, "Well, I'm 26 days away from a train wreck." And I just knew that this was going to be one of those conversations. I was like, "That's a pretty intense word. What do you mean?" And he said, "I'm a franchise business coach with," I won't mention the name of the company. "I'm behind on my franchise fees. In fact, I'm $30,000 behind. And I've just got a call from the boss. But just so you know, you never get a call from this guy ever. It's almost like having God Almighty call you. That's how excited if this guy called you. Except this time it wasn't a happy call. It was a bad news call. It's like, Simon, you're $30,000 behind. You've been behind for months. We're going to call you on it. You've got 30 days to pay us back, or you're out. And you've signed a non-compete which says if you're out, you can't do this again for 5 years." And his heart sank.
Oh, geez.
And I said, "Well, I thought you said you were 26 days away." He goes, yeah, I got the call 4 days ago. I'm like, "Oh, great, man. Thanks for, brilliant." They just give me no time. So I'm like, "Okay, so you've got to come up with 30 grand in 26 days. What's your plan?" Because I don't know about you, but the first thing I want to know is, what have they got in place? Like a little bit like MacGyver, what have we got? We've got some bubble gum. We've got a match, maybe a shoelace. Let's turn that into something, right? And so this guy said, "Well, here's my plan. I want to put on a 2-day workshop. And I wish, he had known you back then, Joey, because he probably would have smashed the workshop. I want to put on a 2-day workshop, and I want to get people to pay $1,000 for a weekend and have 50 people come. That gives me 50 grand to pay back head office, 20 grand for me and my family, and we'll be okay. Get out of this mess." Okay, that's a really good idea. I like it. Only problem, it's 2 weeks before Christmas, dude. Who's going to show up?
Oh, wow.
And he's like, "Oh, have you ever been so in it that you haven't really been able to think objectively?" That's what's going on. I'm like, "Okay, let's just pretend it wasn't 2 weeks before Christmas." To get 50 people to pay you $1,000 off the back of an email, like you send out an email and 50 people say, "Here's my $1,000. How many people do you think you need to have on your database? Can you do me a favor? Just type into the question box for me. How big a list do you think you need to have to be able to get 50 people just to respond and say, 'Here's my $1,000.
Oh, this will be interesting.
Yeah, just good to see what people's perceptions are. Joey, can you be the reader of the numbers?
I can. We've got 5,000, 40,000, 100,000, 50,000. This is interesting. Some people are thinking 600, 300, 250, over 500. 50 says one person here. 10,000, 500. Yeah, so we've got anything from 50 up to what's that? To 20 million.
Okay, so I reckon we're in the right ballpark. It is definitely between 50 and 20 million. Maybe 50 very, very rich, well-connected people who owe you big favors. That might work, but I'm gonna tell you it's going to be a whole lot more than 50 and probably a lot less than 20 million. So here's the deal. So I'm like, great. So we're going to need to send out an email to your whole list to try to get 50 people to give you $1,000. How many people are in your database? And he's like, "Well, I never really kept a list. I don't know about you, but you've got to be religious about collecting cards, building a list, adding people to your newsletter, etc." I'm like, "Well, how many people have you got?" He said, "Well, I've got 7 clients and 7 past clients, but not all of the past clients really like me that much. So maybe like 10
Oh,
people.
oh no, Talkie. My
Uh,
heart is sinking.
yeah, me too. And I was like, oh man, this is not good. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm on my way to Jotham Sports Day. Tomorrow morning, come by the house. We'll sit by the pool and we're just going to figure this out. So he comes over and we MacGyvered it, dude. Here's what we did, Jojo. We worked with what we had. We basically had two things. I think he only had two real assets. You know, he had these 10 dudes, 14 if you count people who kind of thought he was okay, and we had a couple of success stories that he'd had in the past, right? So let's just pause. I want to relate this back to you because case studies are cool, but applying them is so much better. So when I said, so let me just kind of summarize your challenges, man. He said, well, problem number one is I've got no time. I'm like, you're right. We've got 26 days. Okay. Goes, problem number two, you've just kind of pointed out to me.
Christmas in the middle.
Yeah, got no time and it's Christmas. Number two, I've got no database. Like I've got 10 guys. I'm like, yeah, that's not a really good start, dude. You could have helped me more. Problem number three, I'm in debt and I don't have any money to spend on my marketing. So that's his three problems. No list, no time, no money. I want to know, what's your biggest problem right now? I'm just going to give you 10 seconds. What's your biggest problem? Like, what's the thing that's your biggest blockage to making this work? Beverly is saying, lol. Beverly, you
is saying, yeah. No list, knowing what to offer, cash flow and time. Right. We're seeing there. Akram saying list, all three. A lot of people saying all three. No list, no list, no list is big. Time and money. No time, no money.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what? For one person, but yeah, same stuff.
Totally. So here's what he said. He said, well, I've got no money, I've got no list, I've got no time. I said, yeah, but that's not your real problem. Here's your real problem. Your real problem, Simon, is you've got no plan. Because if you had a plan, you could get a list, you could make do with the time you've got and make something happen even with a small budget. So I want to let you know up front, I don't care about your no list or your no time or your no money. It's possible if you get a plan together. So I just want to let you know. One of the biggest problems I see when I work with coaches is there's just too much confusion about what works and what doesn't. You've got...
That is a great picture. I love it.
Thank you. You've got, like when you went to coach training school, they teach you great coaching skills, but no, not very good marketing skills. Or the stuff that they taught you kind of worked back in the 80s or the 90s, or maybe worked in theory, but not in the real world. And then you go to ask your peers, what should they do? And they're just as lost as you are. It's like blind mice running around in a maze, looking for the cheese, kind of being able to smell the cheese, knowing that there's cheese around, but just bumping into walls all the time. It's not cool. And so here's what happens. You try a few things, and eventually you just get cranky. And some people get angry and they figure it out, and others just kind of give up. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I want to let you know that the thing you need more than anything else is this. You need a straight line system. You just need a really simple way to get from I've got no list and no leads and no clients to I've got a list to I've got leads and I've got clients. That's what we're going to do. So I just want to give you a little framework that was taught to me about, dude, I think I was like 17 when I heard this. It's from this marketing guy who works with retailers in Canada. His name's Murray Rayfield. So we're just going to draw a quick picture on my iPad here. Joey, hope you can see yourself on my book. I went to effort for you.
Oh, there's me.
There's you.
Yeah, thank you.
Totally welcome. So here's this concept. It's really, really simple. We're talking about a straight line system here, right? Murray had this idea called the ladder of loyalty. It's really, really basic. He said, basically as a marketer, you need four things. We're going to simplify. We just need the 4-step model. The first thing you need is you need some suspects. And suspects are people who fit your target market profile, but they haven't responded yet. They're just kind of people who might sort of vaguely be interested because of, either their problems or their profession or whatever. So kind of list of people who might fit the profile. So our first job number one, is how do we get a list of suspects together, right? Job number two is once we've got a list of potentials, we need to get them to respond to us because we want to do attraction marketing, not push marketing. So we need a way of turning these suspects into prospects. The people, in other words, they're the same people, but now some of them have kind of raised their hand and they've responded. You with me so far? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yep.
So then step three is we've got prospects. We need to turn them into a lead. And a lead is just somebody who, it's that exact same person, but they've expressed enough interest that they want to be in your sales process. In other words, they've booked in a conversation with you, or they've booked in for your webinar or your workshop or your seminar. They've expressed an interest and now they're in your sales process. So the question you've got to be asking, well, what's the quickest way to get people to make these jumps? And the last jump is turning a lead into a client, into a speaking client or a coaching client or a consulting client. So if you think about that, it gets rid of, remember that picture that Joe laughed at before, the one with all the scribbles? It gets rid of all the scribbles. And what it does is it goes, you know what? All I really need is 4 things. I need some suspects. I need some prospects. I need some leads. And then if I do that, I just need a way to get them to become a client. And that's a straight line system. Is this making sense, everybody? Can you just type in a yep if you're with me? It'd be good to know.
Are you with us? Yep, we're getting lots of
Lots of
yeses.
yes. All right,
Yep,
cool.
yep, yep, yes.
Okay,
yes,
so you
yes.
get the idea. Let me show you what I did with Simon. Okay, so I said we had 2 real assets. We had these 10 dudes, and he'd actually had a really good result with a restaurant in a fairly upscale kind of part of town. And so we decided to use both of those. Like MacGyver, we're just going to use what we got. And so we ran a referral campaign to the 10. And it was pretty ridiculous. I'm going to focus on the other one, but just because it's easier to show and explain. But we got 57 sales appointments from the 10 in 3 days. It cost us $5.
Get out of town.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was good. But I want to show you the letter. What we did was we decided to write a letter to some restaurants. So we picked a nice area of Sydney. So if you're familiar with Sydney, it was in Mossman, kind of Mossman and Neutral Bay, kind of nice part of town. And we decided to send 10 restaurants the same letter. And we wanted to let them all know that they were going to get this letter, that their competitors were reading it too. So here's the top of the letter. Let's have a look. We called it the scarcity letter. What happened is we sent 10 out. One person responded, booked in an appointment. You became from a prospect to a lead and signed up for $2,500 a month as a coaching client. Awesome. So then we sent the letter again to a different target market and a different area. So different kind of business in different area. And same thing happened. Somebody else responded. They booked in an appointment. They signed up as a client. But this time they paid upfront in advance for 3 months, which is killer. And then we did it again. We did it 3 times, all up. Cost him $46.50. And it turned into, this became $67,500, this one page. So let's have a quick look at the letter.
Wow.
Pretty awesome, right? I'm kind of stoked about this. This is kind of the first piece of kick-ass that we put together, and it's really turned this guy around. So let's have a look. It's got a to-field and a CC, a little bit like an email would, but this was a physical piece of paper that we put in an envelope and sent to their business. Color Luna is the name of the restaurant, and Plonk and Alchemy and Watermark were the others. In fact, Watermark was the one the first time around that became a client. So it says, you'll notice I'm sending this letter to 8 of your competitors as well. What I've got to say is important. Time is of the essence. So what have we introduced? This is a little bit different. He's talking to everybody else. Is this, are you doing okay and do you want to get better is basically what that paragraph says. If the answer is yes, this could be the most important page you read all year. So if you're ever not sure how to start with are you this and do you want that? If you do, this could be the most important page you ever read. Just a really easy start. The next paragraph just says, recently, I asked a number of local restaurants who their favorite restaurant in Mossman was. Some didn't have a favorite. The ones that did gave me the names of the 9 of you. So if you ever write to people who don't know you that well, you need to have a background of relatedness, like some kind of connection. How did you find me? Then he tells his story. Hey, my name's Simon. I'm a business coach. I've decided to help a business owner in your industry, your area. The only problem is I can only help one of you for obvious reasons. I only work with one client in each market and each geographical area. I help them quickly take the lion's share. I won't work with two, just one, blah, 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 blah. Yeah?
Yeah, right.
So he's made a big promise. He's basically said, I can work with one of you and we're going to win. And the other guys aren't. And so the next page just has a case study. So if you can see the paragraph which starts with, you might be similar. He's done a case study, and the case study has 3 parts. Please make mental notes or write them down. Part number 1, the problem. And so he talks about, this cafe who we worked with, and they were struggling, and they were working too hard, and they didn't have this, and nothing was good, blah, blah, blah. So that's part 1. Part 2 is the fix. What'd you do? So we've got the problem. Next, we've got the fix. And he just bullets out a couple of things he did. We implemented 6 marketing strategies. We identified roles and responsibilities. We did this, we did that. And then the third part is the happy ending, the result, the win, right? So we've got the problem, the fix, and the win. So that's the next piece. The last piece of this is he has a really, really sexied up free session. He doesn't say, for more information, please contact. Okay, big mistake. Or for a free conversation, for a free one-on-one coaching session. People don't know what coaching is. So he's given it a name, a 45-minute explosive growth session. You'll discover how to do this and get that. First in, best dressed. Everybody else is reading this letter right now. So call me now. So I'm just going to quickly pause. If you have a look at that letter, dudes, what do you notice about this? Whether it's from the letter or just the general approach that is valuable and might make a difference to a coach like you. What do you think?
What are we noticing, gang? Type it in and I'll read it out to Taki.
What'd you learn? What'd you
What's it?
notice? What would you like to share? Now, while
Okay,
you're
so
doing
Rita's
that,
saying the free.
yep.
Oh yeah, it was while you're doing that.
I was just going to say, while you're doing that, here's what happened. Like I said, he went from in trouble to 32K a month. In fact, he went from the bottom of the list, literally about to get kicked out, to the number 2 coach in his franchise in his franchise territory, which was New South Wales, Queensland, WA. Pretty awesome. So thanks, Joe. Can you kind of
Wow,
read
that
out
is
some?
so awesome.
Yeah, it's killer.
Yeah, so Rita's saying that the free offer at the end, it was noticeable. Brendan's saying that it's easy and doable. Sam's saying that the letter's really to the point. There's no fluff involved, and that came up a couple of times there by the looks of things. A bold offer for the free session, so that's the other big thing that people are noticing a lot. Simon is saying scarcity, definitely scarcity there. And Namiki is also reflecting that. Let's see. Interestingly, Taki, a couple of questions came up. Questions now or questions later?
Let's do it. Hit me. I'm happy.
Yeah, Irene said, I'm not very good at letters.
Yeah, awesome.
You know, I can't do this. I'm not very good at writing kind of scenario. And I'm sure she's not the only one thinking along those sorts of lines. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. So I wanted to do a little bit of old school before we go a little bit new school. So if you're more like the Facebook social media type person, bear with me, internet dudes, because we're going there very, very soon. I think the most important thing with all this is to find your platform. So for me, I don't like to write, but speaking comes really easy. So I like to present, I like to speak. So I don't do any writing in my business. Even the letters that we write and the emails that we write, I actually talk and they get transcribed and sent out. So yeah, it's about what works for you. Some people are good writers. Some people prefer to speak. Some people prefer to do video. And I'm going to show you the framework. The most important thing is having the right framework so that whatever your preferred platform is, you can make that straight line selling system work for you. Joe, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So I think it's work to your strengths, right? Work to your strengths.
Exactly.
Someone brought up that I love this because it always comes up. There's always people. It wouldn't work in my industry. Where is that person? It's a bit too full on for my industry.
Yeah, you know what?
Suit our reputation.
Yeah. So.
What's your thoughts on that?
Totally agree. So here's the thing. You totally understand and probably agree. If you're in desperate situations and you've got 26 days to get money, you don't want to be that fluffy. You kind of need to say,
yeah,
hey, I can help you because, and you don't want to say, P.S., if I don't help you, my family eats 2-minute noodles forever. But desperate times, desperate measures. So I'm about to show you a different approach, the approach that we typically use for people who aren't desperately in need of like salvation right now. And that's using an approach that we call education-based marketing. And so I'm really glad you brought that up. And I think that's a totally valid concern. And I'm going to show you how to do it without being all full on. Is that cool?
Awesome. I love it. Well, but this is really important, isn't it, Taki? If you are at that point where it's either make or break,
then make it
break or survive, then you bloody well do what works, don't you? And if it means that you step out your comfort zone, you be a little bit more full on than perhaps you would otherwise be, well, you damn well do it because it turns it around. But if you've got time and you've got a reputation and you've got some profits already and it's not a problem, you just want to grow, then you've got time to be more in alignment and more, more, as you say, education based in your approach. Really important. Don't cast it aside, gang. If you need a result, this is the thing. If you're needing a result and you're naysaying, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
But if you're in a position where you'd like a better result, well, then of course you can be in an opportunity to sort of pick, choose, and do something that's very aligned with the overall direction you want to go, and you should. Yeah. Awesome, Taki. I love it. Let's have a look at the next piece.
Yeah,
then.
No worries. Let's do this. So I reckon kind of up front, there's a little choice. If we think about the problems people had before, no list, no time, no money, no plan, well, you've got a choice. You can stay stuck like most people do. You can either wallow in it or go, hey, nothing really works, and kind of just focus on, I'll just be a better coach and I'll manifest. Well, maybe. I totally believe in manifestation, but I also believe in, let's not wait for things to happen. Let's kind of make things happen. And so I think you've got a choice. You can either stay stuck or you can get a straight line system. So however you choose to do that, whether it's with a direct mail or an email or the other things I'm about to show you, you've got a choice right now. So I just want to kind of mentally give you 3 seconds. You don't have to type anything, but just make yourself a choice. Do I want to stay where I am or do I want to get a plan? No need to type anything. Just want to give you a moment to choose. All right. So no judgment, whatever you chose. I imagine there's a bunch of people who are saying, well, just get me the plan. So let's talk about that. All right. So I want to share with you right now what I think is the most important question in marketing, regardless of whether you're a coach or a speaker or a consultant. The most important question of all, literally, if you get this right, it makes the difference between, fighting. If you get this wrong, it makes a difference between, fighting every day, getting rejection after rejection after rejection, and facing no after no after no. And you hear all the great glory business stories of the people who had 10,000 no's before they had their first yes. And if you go to sales training, they say it's a numbers game. And the truth is, it's a numbers game for people who haven't managed to get it right, I reckon. I don't know about you, Joe, but I'm not a cold calling dude. Like, I don't want to get rejected.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I can't do it. I hate telephones generally. I don't like speaking to people I don't know. Full stop. It's hard enough for me to speak to people I do know.
Exactly. So if you get this one question right, everything changes for you. So I want to give you a quick example. Please listen up, guys. Imagine that you are not a coach or consultant or speaker. Let's just pick something really easy. Let's just pretend that you run a restaurant and it's the busiest day of the week. In fact, let's make it the busiest day of the year. Your chefs come in late. The kitchen's kind of a little bit on fire. Kind of craziness is going on. Waiters are scurrying around delivering orders and delivering dishes, and customers are lining up out the door, and the place is kind of just bustling. And in the middle of that, at lunchtime, on the busiest day of the year, the telephone rings, and it's a coach. And you pick up the phone and you say, hello, can I help you? Because obviously you think it might be a customer. And the coach says, yeah, hi, my name's Alan. I'm from XYZ Coaching. We're the guys who help you make more money and work less hours. Do you have a minute for the phone? Let's just kind of pause right there. Instantly, what's going on in your mind right now? What kind of person do you think Alan is? What do you think he wants from you? And what do you want to tell Alan? This is your chance to tell Alan the truth. What do you want to say? I'm going to give you a second to type in the box. What do you want to tell Alan right now? What do you think Alan wants from you? Okay, William says he wants to tell Alan to F off. I'm swearing, says Irene. I'm busy. F off. Go away.
I love it. What a swearing bunch of people we have on the line.
I thought you had nice people, but they're just... Melinda says, what are you trying to sell me?
I love it.
Pete says, they're stuffing my money. Go away. Get lost. It's just a pitch. They want my money. Click, says Brendan. Leave me alone. Right, here's the thing. You know why? Because Alan got the question wrong. I'm about to show you the question. The most important question in marketing is this. It's who calls who first.
Right.
Even if Alan's heart was good, his intentions were pure, and he could really help, just like your intentions are pure, your heart is good, and you can really make a difference with people. If you reach out to them first, if you're the one knocking on the door, picking up the phone, or pushing on them, you're going to get rejected almost every single time, and it's got nothing to do with your coaching skills or your heart or your attitude. It's just that you pushed. Is this making sense, everybody? On the flip side.
Perfect sense, Taki.
So good. On the flip side, have you ever got a really good lead, maybe from a referral, or you spoke at an event and somebody came up to you at the end and said, "That's exactly you nailed me. That's exactly what I need. I need to speak to you about how we could work together." Or maybe you've got a great lead off your website. Have you ever had one of those? If you have a good lead, contact you first. How much more likely are they, do you think, to become a client than somebody that you cold called or chased? Irene saying, "I love this." All right. William says, every time somebody calls me, my conversion goes through the roof. Divian says, a lot. Loren said, this is my aha moment.
This is my aha moment. I love it.
All my best sales come from people coming to me. That's right. And every single piece of marketing you're ever told is about calling them first. Right? So here's the thing. Let me make a really simple distinction. If you call them first, no matter how great you are, you're positioned as a salesperson. I'm just going to let that sink in because that's the creepy S word that we all hate. If you call them
you
first...
just dropped out a little bit there, Taki. Can you say it again?
Yeah, I can. I was pausing for dramatic effect, but it sounds like I just need to repeat myself. If you call them first, you're positioned as a salesperson. If we can choreograph the situations that they call you, you are positioned as the expert. I mean, just think about it. You're never at home at dinner time. You know how you get those pesky telemarketers at dinner time? You never pick up that phone and it's a doctor saying, "Oh, hey, it's Dr. Smith here. We've got a special on flu vaccinations. Does anyone there need a shot?" That's not how it works with doctors. How it works with doctors is like this. You get sick. If you're a man, you ignore it. If you're smart, the symptoms get worse. Maybe you go to the doctor. When you go to the doctor for the first time, You sit down, you go up to the counter, you give them your card and your information. They get you to fill out a long questionnaire about your history. Eventually, you go in to see the doctor after being forced to wait. You go in to see the doctor. The doctor asks you a whole bunch of questions, maybe pokes you in places and does some tests. And at the end of that, they give you a prescription, some advice. And what do? You take the prescription and you do what they say. You know why? Because doctors are positioned as the expert. Because you go to doctors, they don't chase you. Is this making sense, people? So I want you to get this clear. Everything we're about to do right now is about this. It's about how do I stop chasing and how do I get people to come to me? Just want to do a quick pause. What's been most helpful so far? I just want you to give you 15 seconds. What's been most useful so far?
William is saying that. I think that has been a real aha for people. And saying this question. I think this is really crucial. This thing, stop cold calling, getting people to call me. Everyone is saying that question, who calls who? Darren is saying that the sales letter approach has been awesome. He's got a big smiley face with that too. And I guess that's one strategy for getting them to call you, right?
Yeah,
which is really crucial. One way of doing it. The ladder system, says Divian, which is awesome. But so many, I would say overwhelmingly 80% of people are saying this piece, getting them to call you.
So cool. So one of my favorite coaches is a dude called Steve. He's just we'll hear a little bit more about Steve in a second about what happens. But when I first started working with Steve, he was a telemarketing dependent dude. He didn't do the calls himself because they're yuck, but he paid somebody else to do them. And the leads were patchy. And when he'd first call the leads, after the telemarketer had booked an appointment with Steve, he would say, so what made you want to see me? And he said, I didn't want to see you. I just wanted to get your salesperson off the phone. And he was like, oh, great. So here's what we did. We flipped that for him. And so he used to be telemarketing dependent. And now he's got people literally every single week knocking on his door, sending him an email, leaving him voicemail because the marketing is just working. Here's what he said. Taki, it was the first time. Here's what I learned. And I want you to this is the take-a-homer, right? Good marketing makes selling easy and sometimes unnecessary. So our job is to get the marketing to do the heavy lifting so you don't have to. So quick question. How many people called you this week? I'm going to give you 5 seconds into the question box. And I appreciate you having nimble fingers here, people. Appreciate it.
How many people called you? 0, 1, none, 2, 1, 3, says Marley.
Hey, Marley.
Ben says a big fat egg. I suppose that's 0. Leanne says 5.
A big fat egg called you.
0, 2, 0.
Right. So let's just pause right there.
There we go.
So that's the number that we want to measure here, dudes. Somebody said, this has been the most valuable thing so far, but you're going to show me how. I'm totally going to show you how. So it's coming up in about 60 seconds. Okay? Here's the most important thing I want you to get. It's about getting people to ring you. So you got a choice. This whole webinar is about decision points, little forks in the road. You've got a choice right now. You can be the traditional coach, knocking on doors, going out to meet people, calling back the old leads again and again and again. Hey, do you remember me? I called you 3 months ago. Do you remember me? Oh. No? Okay, well, I'm calling you.
Where do you find these pictures, Taki? That guy is hilarious.
Yeah, he's the person you don't want to be. Like, if you wake up and you're that guy, do something drastic.
Yeah, that's not a good day.
So, people, you've got a choice. Like, seriously, I really want you to consider this. You've got a choice right now. You can either chase or you can get people to call you. And that's the choice I want you to just make right now. You've got 5 seconds. Make your choice. Do I want to continue to be even though you're an awesome person, you've got amazing skills. I don't doubt that for a second. But just because of the way you've been taught to get clients, you're positioned as the sales guy, as that creepy dude with the hairy chest and the gold chain and the body odor. You don't want to be that guy.
Oh, Jim is saying, oh no, I am that guy. Oh no, Jim. Oh no.
So right, so here's the thing. Remember right at the start, I said that the one thing I really hope you get is how to get clients, how to eliminate roller coaster income and have people chase you. Well, I think we've set that up really, really well. I want to get really practical right now, and I want to show you. I'm kind of lucky. I work with some of the top 3% of coaches in the world. And I don't mean that in terms of coaching skills, because I'm sure many of you have got even greater coaching skills than they have. But I'm just talking about in terms of business success, because the difference between a great coach and a successful coach, right? And so let's do a little bit of this. Okay. So if you think about, I don't know where you are on this. I like to do frameworks because it helps me know kind of where I am and what's next for me, right? So maybe my lines are a little bit off here, but I reckon there's kind of 4 kinds of coach. So you've got people who are, either getting started or, like Simon was, a little bit desperate, and they're in survival. And that's, maybe between 0 and, I don't know what the number is, but maybe like $10,000 a month if I have to pick a round number, maybe 8 or 10K a month. So $10,000 a month sounds really, really good, but, when you're there, you've got expenses and, you're doing okay, but you're kind of around the alive and doing okay line, but you're not really thriving. The next level is stability. Things are going okay, maybe between 10 and 20K a month. A lot of coaches get themselves out of here, up into here, and then they stop. It's like there's this weird lid, either here or here. Every one of these little lines seems to be a little bit of a block for people. But the job is not it's great to be stable, but there's another level, right? The next level is, successful. Maybe that's between 20 and 40K a month. And, the numbers might vary depending on country and lifestyle needs and stuff like that. But each one of these becomes a little ceiling because there's successful coaches who are fully booked with clients and don't have any time left, and then they need to leverage, right, Joe? And the next piece is all about scale. And so I don't know where you are on this level, but I want to show you, like I'm lucky enough to work with, a ton of people at this level as well. I've got plenty of people, in here, but I want to show you what I do to get people up here, the top 3% of coaches in terms of income. And I want to show you how we build their marketing machines. They're really, really simple. I think what I love about this is you can get big results with simple plans, okay? So I reckon the biggest challenge you've got right now, the reason why you don't have people knocking on your door, why you've got big fat eggs or 1s or 2s in terms of how many people contacted you last week, is because of this. It's because you don't have a marketing system. And if you're honest, I reckon most coaches, instead of a marketing system, what they've really got is a series of patchy promotions at best.
Yeah.
At best.
Fair call.
Yeah. Most people have hope-based marketing, which is, if I build it, they will come. If I just be the best coach ever, it'll be okay. You know what? Not so much. But most coaches don't have a marketing system. And a marketing system is where you have consistently, you've got a system that consistently brings in, generates new leads and then consistently converts them into paying clients, high-paying clients every single week. That's a marketing system. So I want to know, in the perfect world, you'd have a system like that is consistent, right? It's a system and it's consistent. So I just want to know, why is it so hard to be consistent with your marketing? Come on, nimble fingers. Give us 10 seconds worth of your best answers.
Why is it so hard to be consistent with our marketing?
Yeah.
All right. Sue says human nature. Neve says lack of planning and time. Time seems to be a big one.
Yep.
Time and confidence. Brendan says fear of rejection. Brett says it's not what we do best, which is a fair call. We're trained to be coaches, not to be marketers.
Yep.
Candy, I don't know what to do. No plan. Don't know the system. Irene says I've run out of client base, which is a similar kind of thing, I guess. Peter says because I hate it and I don't give it the attention that it needs. Yeah, busy, not being coached in building the plan. I don't know. So not knowing what to do sounds like a really big one here.
Yeah, I reckon there's kind of two. There's
lots of other distractions.
That's probably the major one. I think there's kind of 2 or 3 that come up regularly, and 2 of them are obvious and one's a little bit less so. So let's talk about the 3. I think the 3 problems. Number 1 is you don't have time. Like frankly, if you're a successful coach, the more successful you are, the less hours you've got available, so you just don't put in the marketing effort. Most coaches don't have time. Secondly, even if you did have time, seriously, do you want to market or do you want to coach? Most people just want to coach, right?
Yeah, true.
So I think that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is the one that's come up so much here, which is I just don't know what, I'd be consistent with my marketing if I had something that just worked. So give me the, what's the thing? I'd be happy to be consistent, but I don't want to consistently do something that's not working, right? And then the third piece is, even if I had something that worked and I had some time, if we really think about what we're after here is marketing that is automated, that kind of works every week with or without you being involved. And so the third challenge that most people don't really think of is, even if I had a strategy that works and I had a little bit of time, I don't really have a way of taking a marketing idea and making it a system that works for me. I reckon they're the 3 big challenges, right? So I know a bunch of you guys are taking notes right now, but I reckon they're the 3. No time, no strategy that works, and no system for turning it into a machine. So I want to teach you how to kind of do all 3 really quickly. So I want to talk about how to create our marketing machine. And there's really 2 steps. As you can see on the left here, you've got to build it. And on the right, we need to automate it, right? So step 1 is we're going to build. Step 2, we're going to automate. And obviously we're going to only automate what we've built and is working. So I want to share with you a tool that I use with all of my clients. It's called the Money Map. And in fact, rather than just show you the worksheet, we might just build one together. So let me just kind of bring up my iPad again, and let's do it right now. So Money Map is a very, very fancy piece
Pretty nifty little thing, this little iPad of yours.
Hey? Sorry, Joe,
Little
what was that?
iPad drawing thing. It's very cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. It's my favorite.
This little drawing thing is very cool.
Yeah, it's
very
good fun.
cool.
Thank you. I get the number one question I always get asked when it's Q&A time is, how did you do that thing with the iPad? I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but what about my content, man?
How did it...
All right, so let's talk about this money map. Really what we want, if this is kind of opportunity at the top and this is kind of clients and money down the bottom, our job is to just get a straight line like we've been talking about from top to bottom. That's the go, right? So really, to build your marketing system, you need 4 things, and they happen in this order, and they're very, very simple, and you'll instantly know what they are. Okay, so the first thing you need is you need a channel. And a channel is just, how am I going to get my message out there in front of people? Right, so an example of a channel might be Facebook advertising or direct mail like we talked about, or email marketing or speaking and networking, right? Channels, you get that. It's just about how do you get your message in front of the right people. So once you've got a channel, you've got a way to get your message out there, then we need a way to get their contact details in here. And the way you do that is with a piece of conversion content called a lead magnet. Now, what's a lead magnet? It's the free thing that you give away. What do you call it in your world? Just so people here might already know what it is, Joe. What do you call that?
Yeah, I call it a free gift in return for contact details. Like kind of,
Perfect.
Various different things, but
that's free gift in return for contact
what's
details.
Your free gift?
Exactly, that's what it is. So it's your cool free thing that you give people in return for getting name and email address and some kind of permission to stay in touch, right? The third thing you need, in a perfect world, we get somebody to go, we get a message through the channel, they respond for our lead magnet. They're a lead right now, they're not a client, right? The next thing we need is we need a way to turn that person into a customer, and the thing we use is called a conversion tool. Now, what's a conversion tool? Well, it's just how do you convert a prospect into a client? And so maybe it's a one-on-one appointment, maybe it's selling from stage with Joe's magic skills, maybe it's you run teleseminars, or they're the basics. You do something one-on-one, you may do something one-to-many, or maybe you get all, once you've mastered those 2 and not before, maybe you do something that's more infinite. In other words, it's a sales video that lives up online forever, or an automated webinar, or something very, very hands-off like that. So in a perfect world, it goes like this, boom, and somebody becomes a customer. But the truth is that the perfect world is, very rarely the real world. And so what we need is a way to capture people who respond to the lead magnet but don't go any further, or they have the sales appointment and they still don't buy. And so the last piece is called a follow-up funnel, which is usually a series of messages, emails, postcards sometimes, but often just emails that bring people back here and here. So just want to quickly check in. We're about to get super practical. I just want to make sure, is this making sense so far? Question. Is this making sense?
William is saying very simple and very powerful. So sounds like it is.
Yeah, cool. Lots of people saying yes, totally.
Yes, sure is totally.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build
on the right path.
A money map together. And Joe, I'd love it if you could be the reader of the answers as they come through. Let's build a money map for a coach. Let's talk about channels right now. What are some different channels we could use to get our message out there in front of people? Just going to give you 5 seconds to type something in. And Joe, could you read a few out? And we'll pick some and we'll pop them in these little boxes here.
Sure. Okay, we've got Facebook.
Perfect.
LinkedIn. Do you count them all as social media?
Yeah, we'll just call that social, but I've just written down FB for Facebook. That's good. What else?
Yep. We've got speaking.
Yep, perfect.
We have networking.
Yep.
We have telemarketing.
Yeah, I'm not going to even dignify that with a response.
Yeah, we've talked about.
I'm just kidding. No, it's fine. Telemarketing's fine, but that's not my preferred channel.
Joint ventures.
Perfect. Great. Okay. So there we go. We've got some channels.
And then there's a load of others as well.
Yeah, there's hundreds and there's tons of answers there. That's great. So let's talk about lead magnet right now. Joe calls it free gift in return for contact details. What are some free gifts that you've seen coaches use as the free gift in return for contact details? So it might be something on your website where you have a little box they can put in their name and their email address in return for what? What have you seen as a free gift that coaches use?
We've seen lots of ebooks.
Yep.
We've seen CDs and DVDs.
Perfect.
We've seen free appointments.
Yep. Free session, we'll call that.
Free session. We've seen a tip sheet. I guess that would be similar to an ebook.
Yep.
But, all of those things. Video series is one that's a little bit different that we haven't got there. Video series. Is that enough? Do you need more?
Yeah, that's totally great. That's good. It's good. So we've got ebook, CD, DVD, free session. A lot of people just have sign up for my free newsletter. So let me put that in.
Yep, free newsletter. Okay. Yep.
Now, Joe didn't read that out. I planted that one because I reckon the two most common that I see all the time are free session and free newsletter. Now, you guys are pretty smart because they've been around you, and I'm sure they don't do that much. But I just want to let you know that free session and free newsletter are the two worst things you could possibly ever offer as your lead magnet. And here, really quickly, is why. If somebody responds or they don't, it's because of two factors and only two factors. It comes down to how much the prospect perceives there to be a risk in responding and a reward in responding. Pretty basic, obvious psychology. But think about this. Sometimes the things that we see as high reward and low risk, the prospect sees the exact opposite way. So, for example, sign up for my free email newsletter. You think, cool, I'm going to send you great tips once a week or every so often, and you're going to love it. It's going to be valuable content for free, no strings attached. That's what we see. We see lots and lots of reward, right? Unfortunately, the prospect doesn't see that. They see, okay, come and spam my already overcrowded inbox with your marketing messages and don't give me a way to unsubscribe. Right?
So true.
True or true? It's true. It's totally true. So how about free, one-on-one appointment? We, even though we know that we're there to, hopefully get a client, most people would say, you know what, in an hour, I could really make a difference to this business. Whether they hire me or not, I'm there to deliver great value. So we see reward. They don't. They see this. They see, sit down with somebody whose only possible motivation for giving me an hour for free. Just think about it. Seriously, this person's an expert. They're going to give me an hour of their time for free, no charge. The only possible reason is to extract, money from my wallet. So sometimes what we think is reward is risky. So let's just kind of show you what to do instead. What's the thing that people most want? They want help with solving their problems. Right? Solve problems. Maybe it's a goal, but I reckon even goals are problems. Problems they just haven't been able to. The kind of problems, things they want, but the problem is they don't know how to get there quick enough. So people want to solve their problems. What's the least risky thing you could ever give somebody? Well, some kind of information about how to solve their problems without having to talk to a single person, which is why free report, DVD, video series, CD works so well. So our offer is going to be problem solving information. I hope that helps. Okay, let's come back here.
Oh, it makes such sense. This is something I often am saying to people. People are like, I don't know what to put in my free report or what to put in my video series. I said, well, what is the biggest problem that your target market currently have?
Right,
Solve
and then exactly show them
why
simple. It's a problem and what they need to do.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, conversion tool, really simple. You got some choices. You got one-on-one. You've got one-to-many, webinar, workshop, seminar, etc., teleseminar, and you've got infinite. Now, I recommend, infinite sounds really, really cool. I'm not going to explain it. I reckon there's so much opportunity here, and there's so much opportunity here. And I reckon the order is get this down first so you're converting between 70 and 80% of the people you see into clients, and then leverage it with speaking and webinars. That's the plan. Cool? So so is this making sense so far, everybody? Just kind of a quick, yep, we're good?
All good, gang. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
we're
awesome.
good.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I love that everyone is kind of being so active in the box. It just makes this a conversation. I really love that, Joe. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. So let's talk practically. Now you've got your money map. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to fill out yours with kind of what you're doing right now, and then you're going to do three things. You're going to get three colors. You're going to get a red and a yellow and a green, like traffic lights, right? Red is it's not working. Yellow is it's kind of working okay, but it needs some work. And green is it's just, it just works every time. So first thing you do is you kind of look for what's working really well. And so maybe this joint venture thing is going great for you. If it is, awesome. Let's say when you get in front of people, you kind of convert okay. So we'll call that yellow. And I've already got a couple in red, so let's kind of stick with those. Let's go red. Free session, people aren't responding. My newsletter is not really getting me, that much traction. Maybe Networking is not really working. And let's call Facebook and speaking yellow, just for the sake of conversation, right? So remember our goal, guys, is to get something green here and here and here and here. Okay, we're going to focus on the top three first because they're the kind of the fundamentals that have in place, the 3-step formula. So we got something green in channel.
Yeah, Tucky, what color do we do ones that are? Just quick question.
Yep.
What color do we do if it's just an idea and we're not even doing it yet?
Yeah, I'd put that down as maybe a yellow.
Okay, yellow.
Yeah, you can't say it's not working. You can't say it is. So let's call that yellow. Cool?
Okay, sure.
We could invent another color, but I haven't thought about that. So on the spot, I'm going to go with yellow. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We've got this joint venture thing. That's working. So we're just going to make that green. Awesome. We don't have anything in lead magnet right now that's green. So here's what, if you're not sure about what marketing thing you should be working on next, it's where's the next, if you start at the top, what's the next row which doesn't have any green in it? So that's going to be lead magnet. And let's work on, it's not going to be the free session or the newsletter. We're going to ditch those. And our job is to create something green. Maybe it's that. On conversion tool, we've got a yellow here. Our job is to to improve our conversion and turn that into that. So we've got a little pathway now from channel to lead magnet to conversion tool and then into follow up if we need it. Is this clear, everybody? So let me be really prescriptive.
This is making perfect sense, Taki. I think giving us a step-by-step strategy. It's awesome.
Thank you. So let's be super specific here. If you think about your money map right now, what are the reds? And the red, just kind of think, what are my reds right now? And here's the instructions. I want you to stop it right now. I don't want you to waste another second. I don't want you to waste another cent. I don't want you to waste another hour. Just if it's not working, let's stop. If it's green, let's roll that out. And if it's yellow, let's turn that green. So here's your process. Let me kind of give you the steps. Step 1 is to get a green pathway all the way through. That's step 1. Step 2, once we've got a green pathway, it's then to open up new channels. We don't have to work too much more down here or down here because we've got a pipeline that works. It's about step 1, a green pathway. Step 2, open up extra channels that'll then flow in like that. Okay? That, my friends, is how you build a marketing system one step at a time. Okay? So I want to just give you some examples of lead magnets, of conversion tools, and of channels. So let me kind of quickly give you a couple of case studies like this. I've got a client, his name's Michael. In fact, I might just go back one slide so you don't read too much. It'll make sense in a sec. His name's Michael, a really, really good guy whose niche was personal trainers. Or he decided his niche was going to be personal trainers, but didn't actually have any yet. And he had a friend who had some personal trainers on his database, about 2,500 personal trainers. And he decided that, hey, my friend Mark has got these personal trainers. I'd like to reach out to them. So he talked to his friend Mark and said, hey, Mark, you've got this list of personal trainers. Could I promote my coaching service to them? And Mark said, well, I can't just give you my list because I spent this much time going for it, but if you write a good email, I'll have a look at it and I'm happy to send out one message for you. So if you think money map, his channel was email. So the lead magnet comes next. Well, he decided to write a free guide, like a short guide, like a 3-page guide for personal trainers, how to get 10 clients in 10 days. Yeah, that was his lead magnet. Now, I want you to have a look at this because if you think about marketing, most people will be stoked with like a 4 or 5% convert, kind of response rate. And this guy got, he sent 2,500 emails and he got 1,731 responses, like 66, 67% response rate in 13 hours, like literally just by
Get out of town. That's incredible.
It's completely nuts. Now, here's what I want you to notice. For the people, particularly if you were thinking before, that sales letter thing was a little bit full on, have a look at this. This is the opposite of full on. It's just so factual. It's what we call education-based marketing. So it's like, hey, one of my colleagues, Michael Griffiths, has just written a guide. It's called this. It shows you how to do that. Shows you why you need to stop handing out flyers and trying to get your name out there. It contains 3 simple strategies that do this. They're all low cost and easy to do. If you work in a team, feel free to print it out as many times as you like and share it with your colleagues. After reading it, you'll have a better idea of why most personal trainers don't have enough clients and how to implement a marketing system that'll meet the average PT's needs in about 3 or 4 hours a month. The guide's free. All you have to do is click here and I'll send you a copy. What do you notice about that email?
What do you notice, guys? What are you noticing?
While people are typing those
it's
in,
3 paragraphs.
Yeah, it's 3 paragraphs.
Anne says it's soft and friendly. Sam says there's no risk. It's very helpful. It's understated, says Derek. No sign up like directly there. It's Low risk, no pressure, intrigue, no sales pitch, short and succinct.
Totally. So here's what you need.
Yeah.
Perfect. So here's what you need. You need a system called education-based marketing. You need a way to get people a channel. You need a way to offer a low-risk lead magnet, like we've just talked about, some problem-solving information using a kind of a low-pressure approach like this. And if you nail the problems and you offer something that has immediate application, people will jump on it, okay? And then it's just about moving people from that to, I'd like an appointment with you. So let me kind of show you how to do that. I've got this great coach. Her name's Alice. And I taught her how to send an email out to the people on her list and offer a one-on-one session, like a strategy session is what we call it. And so first day inside my website, she cut and pasted the strategy session offering. It's like basically it's a text file, like a Word doc. You just kind of copy it. You put your name in the top and change 2 numbers and you hit send, right? So she's got a little list, 314 people. She sent this email out and 31 people said, yeah, I'd really like to meet with you. And I'll show you why that is in a second. Before I said that free sessions are a dumb offer? They're a good offer if you do it well. And if you've already got people to take the very first step, right? So let me show you what Alice did.
So they're not good as a lead magnet, but they're good as, once they're leads, they're good kind of conversion.
Yeah, they're great at getting people to register for your conversion tool. That's exactly right. Totally. I'm so glad you said that. Got it. So this is the template. Andrew. Now that works really well if everyone on your list's name is Andrew. If it's not, you probably want to change that for first name. Then it says, is hot button issue a problem for you, or an issue for you? So you work out what your market's big problem is and you fill it in there. If it is, for a limited time, you can get a hot button related strategy session. So if you're a relationship coach, it might be like a relationship rescue strategy session. Or if you're a business coach, it might be like a team turnaround, or it might be like an explosive growth, or whatever it is, strategy session without paying a cent. At the end of 45 minutes, you'll walk away with 4 bullets: clarity, awareness of what's been holding you back, an action plan to move you forward, and energy and motivation to take your blank to the next level, right? So think about that thing we did just before with the risk and reward. Remember that seesaw? We've just spelled out the reward really, really clearly, and that's why people respond, typically about 10%. Right now, I've got room in my calendar for 3 strategy sessions in the next 2 weeks. You need to be quick. 314 other business owners are reading this email as well, so the 3 sessions will be snaffled up quick. Click here to book in your strategy session, and we'll use this clever technology that gets people to actually book themselves into your calendar, so you don't have to even follow them up by phone. They literally click a button. It shows them your calendar. They find a time that works and they click yes, please, and they enter their details. And next thing you know, get a little notification saying, Jane has registered for your strategy session, and here's her phone number. It's kind of cool. Anyway.
Now, there's a question here, Taki, which I think is important, because this is really important that you get this, guys. William is saying, was this a cold email? It's not, is it? This is an email that's going out to a list of people that have already opted in for your free gift. You have a relationship with them, yeah?
Totally right. So let's just quickly do a reiterate. Okay, so let's be super clear. Alice had already done... let's go big pen. She'd already done channel and lead magnet. That email you just saw was designed to get people to register for her conversion tool, which was a one-on-one appointment. Is that clear, everybody? So she'd already got somebody's details.
Got it.
They'd already asked for her thing, and now it's about moving people to the next step, which is, hey, my conversion tool is a one-on-one appointment, and so what I need to do is I need a way to invite people to it. Good question. So let me show you a couple from my business and then one from a couple other clients.
You've already got the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So I told you before, I work with the top 3% of coaches as well. And the webinar that I use to teach them about how to do that is this webinar called $1 Million Coach. And so the lead magnet really is this webinar. It's called $1 Million Coach, and it's about how to go from success to kind of success and scale. And so the lead magnet is this webinar, and at the end of it, I just offer a one-on-one session. And this should look kind of familiar to what we just saw from Alice's email. At the end of it, I offer a black belt business plan session with me, which is you get clear, you can discover what's been holding you back, a 3-step plan. We customize the pyramid, which is this thing that we do, and then you leave excited. And that makes people want it enough to have a session with me, and we convert 70 or 80% of them into kind of $12,000 clients. Okay, so that's how we do it. I've got this awesome client. His name's Andrew.
Awesome.
He went from 20 grand a month, so he was already what I would call stable or successful, and he's gone to 100 grand a month by scaling it with this little funnel. It's pretty cool, and I just want to give you some examples of how this might work. So Andrew put together a course on how to run webinars, and if you have a look on his page, a little pop-up comes and it says, Step 1, get your complimentary report, And step 2, register for a free online training. So if you think about the money map right now, the report, is that a lead magnet or a channel or a conversion tool or a follow-up funnel? What's the report? Just going to give you a sec.
What is it, gang? Write it in for me and I'll let Taki know what you think. What is the report?
What's the report? It's a lead magnet. Totally, everybody. You got it. Great. And so then the free webinar is the conversion tool, right? So lead magnet is come here, fill in your details on that little box on the right. And then on the thank you page, it says, hey, congratulations. Please download your report and then register for an online training at a time that works for you. And that's his conversion tool. Is this making sense? So I want to give you really quickly 3 formulas. How to do one-on-one sales, how to do a conversion tool that's one-to-many, and Joe's the master at one-to-many, especially from live events. And so I bow in your honor, in your presence, oh honorable session. So I want to quickly give you some formulas, right? How do you do the one-on-one thing really well? And literally, if you're not getting 70 or 80% of your people to buy at the end of your one-on-one appointment without any pressure, then you're doing something not wrong, but you could definitely use a bit of improvement, right? So here's the formula. For one-on-one sales, it's a one-on-one strategy session, either it's in person, either face-to-face or on the phone or over Skype or something like that. And the formula, it's really, really simple. We're going to do 5 things. And I'm going to give you a copy of my slides at the end, so I'm just going to go fairly quickly here. So the first thing you do is you lead the client, which is number 1, you build rapport. You talk about their cat and the weather. I'm joking. You build rapport. Number 2, you set an agenda about, hey, in this session today, here's what I'd like to cover. And you go through the 3 elements, which I'll cover next. And then you get them to tell you why they made a decision to have this session with you and why they're here to make a decision and not just collect free information. Then you focus on the result, what they really want and why they want it. You get clear about where they are right now and the costs of that, the cost of staying the same. And then you identify the roadblocks. Hey, this is where you are and that's what you want. What's holding you back? What's standing in the way? What's slowing you down right now from getting where you want? And how is that impacting you in terms of money, time, and emotion? And then 5th, you get hired. And getting hired is really simple. It's check in and see what's been most valuable so far. It's ask them where to from here. So where do you think we should go from here? And have them ask you questions. And you just deliver one little golden nugget of information at a time. And at the end of every one, you say, is this making sense so far? And they say, yeah. Comfortable with everything so far? Yeah. Where do you think we should go from here? And you ask them that question again and again and again. And at the end of it, they say, well, I'd like to do this. And they get started. And literally 70 or 80% of the people will do exactly that. Okay, so that's the formula. Awesome. I've kind of brushed over it, but it's pretty freaking cool. How do you sell one-to-many? From stage, teleseminars and webinars. To be honest, I think Joe is the world's, the people's champ of selling from stage. In terms of teleseminars and webinars, I've got a ton to add, so let me kind of give you my formula for those. There's really 6 steps. Number 1 is the opening, where you make your big promise and you get permission. There's the stick, where you show people why they need to stay on to the very end. Because if you're going to make an offer to people at the end, you want to make sure that they're on at the end. There's the stretch, where you teach teach content and you teach people not just great content that's valuable, but you teach content that sets up the sale really well, gives you a chance to showcase proof, keeps people engaged, and is valuable. That's the 4 steps. Number 4, there's the transition from the content to the close. You've got the close itself, where you make a really delicious offer that's just ridiculously great. Like, Joe, you call it a no-brainer offer. Like, it's so good and it's so easy, you'd be nuts not to. And at the end, you start the party. And the party is where you help people answer their questions about, hey, is this right for me? And that's that's the format. And you can use that whether you've got a big list or not. Like this guy here, his name's Matt. He was a personal trainer 4 months ago. Literally 4 months ago. He's just, from day 1, he started using the money map and webinars. He's already at 20 grand a month. And he's only getting like 10. I think the most he's ever had on his webinar was 15 or 16 people, Joe. And he's converting 30% of webinar attendees into a $1,000 sale where they plan out their business, and 80% of those people into one-on-one clients at $2,000 a month. He's just killing it.
That's fantastic. That's the thing. You don't need big numbers to make big money. You just need to be active doing the right stuff.
Totally right. So then here's Adam, one of my favorite clients right now. He's moved his family to Bali. He did 72 grand from on a webinar from Bali, and he sent me this text. 56 people on the webinar, so not that big, right? At the end, 18 interviews, so people applied to join his program. 12 sales at 5 to 6 grand, not bad. And if you live in Bali, where honestly you can live like a king in Bali for not very much money at all, he's done very, very well. Okay, so the format.
That should pay for a few coconuts. Trust
totally
you,
should.
Taki Moore. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So let's just check in. We've covered a ton of ground already. I want to do like the Cosmo quiz of marketing. You know, like in Cosmo magazine, you have those quizzes which get you to kind of score yourself. I want to do one of those. So I want to ask you a
ask
question.
why you're reading Cosmo magazine, dude.
All good marketers read Cosmo magazine. The headlines are amazing. Long story short, we'll talk about that another time. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions. And what I'd love you to do, please, is if you can honestly answer yes, like a clear, committed yes, then give yourself a tick on a piece. Grab a piece of paper right now and a pen, right? Give yourself a tick and a smiley face, a pat on the back, and just go, hey, I'm doing really well here. But if you can't answer it honestly, like a really strong, clear, committed 100% yes, then give yourself a cross. And maybe draw a little sad face, like a frowny face, and go, you know what? I gotta up my game here. I need some help. Yeah? So the first question is, how many successful channels do you have? And by a successful channel, it's not like what are you trying, but what's working right now? We kind of listed out, you know, social media and speaking and a few other different ways to get your message out there. How many successful channels are working for you right now? And success would be how many channels do you have that generated leads in the last, let's be generous. Let's give you 30 days. How many successful channels do you have that are consistently working? So every 30 days you're getting more leads through them. Not just activity, but results. If you're working really well, give yourself a tick and a smiley face and feel great. And if it's not, hey, give yourself a cross and a little sad face and go, hey, I got to up my game here. Number 2, are your lead magnets actually pulling? And the proof's in the pudding, right? How many leads you get last week? If it's 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 or 100, like in our business, we generated well over 1,000 leads last week. Now that's not the standard for everybody, but you know, it's because we've got this marketing thing dialed. So your lead magnet's pulling, or are you putting stuff out there and people aren't really taking up your offer? Have you kind of, you know, even if you've known about it for ages, is it working or is it not? Give yourself a tick if you're smashing it and a cross if, hey, there's some work to be done. Okay? Number 3, if you think about your conversion tools, your one-on-one sales conversion, or maybe you've moved into your teleseminars and seminars and webinars and workshops, which conversion tool needs the most work? And let me just kind of focus you down. If you're converting 70 or 80% or more one-on-one, then you graduate, and one-to-many is where you should be focused right now. If you're converting less than that, then I think that's where you start. So which conversion tool? One-on-one do I need to work on, or my one-to-many? Your call. Number 4, if you think about your follow-up, you know, once somebody comes into your funnel but maybe doesn't go any further, is your follow-up working? Is it consistently bringing people back to new lead magnet offers and inviting people to conversion tools? Is that working, or is it lacking? Give yourself a tick if you're smashing it and a cross if you need to do some work. All right, let's just check in. That was a pretty big content sesh, right? We've gone super deep into the money map and how to build a marketing system. What did you just learn about, not just marketing systems in general, but what did you learn about your marketing system from that little Cosmo quiz? I'm going to give you 10
awesome,
seconds.
Taki, that's really good.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Just go, hey, you know what? Where are you at really, and what do you need?
Yeah. Well, let's share some of the things that people are learning. Zena is saying mine is crap. Thank you for your honesty, Zena. I love it. Kate saying 4 big fat crosses. Amanda that I don't have one. Moira's saying 1 tick, 3 crosses. Kerry, I don't have one. Yeah, this is really showing people that they've really got to implement some stuff, which is awesome. And saying I've got to overhaul everything and focus on one thing at a time, says Derek. This is really, really good. Sad, says Rosalind. Oh, Taki, we've got to turn this around. Everyone's getting very sad here.
All right. So needs a makeover, needs an overhaul. It's broken. All right, let's fix this. I said up front that there's 2 ways to, 2 steps to building a marketing machine. Step 1 is to build it, and step 2 is to automate it. So let's get really practical. The reason that you don't have a marketing system right now, there's 2. Number 1, firstly, there's a time thing, but secondly, it's like I just don't have a strategy that works. So that's the first step. And the second thing is you need a process for taking a marketing piece and installing it into your business so that it just works for you every single time. So let's talk about this. The most important thing you could do right now is to make a commitment to stop doing like 99% of the stuff that you think you should. Okay? Let me be really, really clear. From now on, I don't want you to do 10 things. I don't even want you to do 100 things. In fact, I don't even want you to do 3 things. I want you to pick 1 marketing project a month. Is this making sense? 30 days. And in that month, you pick 1 project. I'll show you what the projects are in a second, but you pick 1 project and you do it. You don't focus on the new shiny thing or all the crazy stuff, all the things that your friends should tell you should do. You pick one thing and you implement. In fact, I reckon you should have 2 lists. In my business, we had 2 lists. We've got our monthly marketing project, and literally that list is very short. It has 1 line item. And then we've got the list, and we call it Someday Maybe. And this is all the great ideas that we come up with, all the shiny ideas that we get attracted to. We put them in that list. And then once a month, we pick the next one out, but we only do one at a time, right?
Great call.
So let's talk about this. Here's what you do. You pick one project a month. And, my clients get, these kind of 12-month plan, which is like month 1, I want you to focus on this. And it's got a checklist of the things from my website that you're going to, download and learn. And then underneath, it's got the resources that you can copy, paste, and send. In other words, the templates that you're going to use and the worksheet to fill out, etc. So you're going to pick one thing at a time, and you're going to feel really good saying no to all the stuff, right? So if you don't have your own, list of what projects you should be focused on, well, you've got to quickly choose. You can either, pay a marketing consultant. One of the questions that came through before, does the copywriter write all this stuff? No, it's just a template. So you can either pay a copywriter a bunch of money, or you can, hope and guess and have a go yourself, or you can take a template. And I think template's the way to go because it's cheap, right? It's worked for hundreds of people, and all you need to do is change first name to your name, kind of change the signature at the bottom, maybe tweak a couple of things to make it match your market, and then send it. So here are some examples of templates for direct mail. And this way you don't have to build it all yourself, and you don't have to pay somebody a fortune, right? So there's direct mail letters. You're going to need some basics. So you're going to need an offer for your free report. So this is a little bit like the Michael personal trainer email. So you need a template like that to get people to want your free report. Once they've asked for your free report, you need a way to engage them and actually get them to tell you their biggest problem so that it makes sense to invite them to a session. So you need a problem-getting email. You need a strategy session offer, which I've showed you already from Alice. And once somebody says yes to the appointment, you need an email that you send them that sticks the appointment, that gets people to not just book an appointment, but actually be excited about it and show up and block out the time and make sure that they actually show up excited and joins, hires you. Yeah. So there's some basic templates that every business needs. So how do you build it? You leverage off templates, I reckon, is the fastest way, and you do one thing a month. Second step is to automate it.
Yeah, really intelligent advice.
Thank you. So I think here's the thing. If you think about all of the marketing strategies you should be using. In fact, the very first coach, I don't know if I've told you this before, Joe, but the very first coach I ever worked with, he was a bit of a veteran. He'd been around for ages, and a new coach joined the team and said, okay, I've signed up my first client. What do I do now? And the coach's advice was just get them to list everything they know they should be doing, but they're not. And then just pick them off one by one by one. And that sounds okay. But here's what I want you to do. Can you do me a favor? Just jump into that question box and type in the marketing tactics that you already know you should be doing.
Okay, cool. What do you know you should be doing, gang? Write them down.
So, I'll read. It says email. Speaking. Should be speaking. Writing free reports, video, social media, regular email, building my list, leaflets, webinars, speaking, using Aweber, writing my newspaper column, speaking, social media, webinars, speaking, more speaking, free reports, do a survey as a lead magnet, setting up a bigger client base, website, workshops, ebooks, running seminars, YouTube, follow-ups. So here's the thing. If you're that coach, and those things are valid for everybody, here's what happens. You suffer from marketing overwhelm.
Yeah.
There's all these things you're supposed to be doing that all the gurus say, do this, do this, do this, and you just get pulled this way and that way like a ship without a rudder. And I just want to, I'm more passionate about this than almost anything else. I think the worst thing in the world is to be pulled from pillar to post or dazzled with shiny object after shiny object. You need one thing at a time. So let me just tell you really clearly what you need and what you don't. You don't need a big fat list of all the stuff you should be doing. What you do need is a marketing system that does them all for you. The way you get free and the way you get clients is you have a system, you install a machine that takes the one project and makes it happen every single month without you. So you do one, you plug it into the machine and it does it. So next month, it's already running and you add number 2. And then it runs it and then you add number 3. Does this make sense, everybody? That's the plan. That's the way to get freedom in your coaching business and get all the leads you want without having to become a marketing nerd. I love it, but I get that you don't. So I just want to quickly check in. What's been most valuable from our time together so far?
Let's see. What's been valuable, guys? Type it into the question box and I'll share it here with Taki. So Anne says the money map. Susan says the plan. Brendan says clarity. Siobhan says focus, having a plan, the money map, the matrix, the money map. Claudia says everything. I think this seems to be the big one. The plan, laying out a system, really approaching it from that systemized way is saying there.
Totally.
Mickey's saying the marketing machine. Barry says the channel matrix, the plan there. Paula says the free reports. Tina and Pix both say the step-by-step, the system. Automating it, says Divian. Clarity, the map, strategy, system. That they're the very. Barbara says everything is crystallized, which is awesome because we do get overwhelmed with tactics and strategies. I think it's really vital for us. It's important to be aware that there's a smorgasbord of things you can choose from, but then what you want to do is pick and follow the system and implement, as you say. I think that is great advice, Taki. One at a time, one a month. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Perfect. So you know what? I think the question to ask right now is this. You've been doing this for a little while. You're a great speaker and a great coach or a great consultant. But the truth is that if we were honest and we weren't kind of in public display here and it was just you and me chatting without all the pressure to kind of look successful. And I said, how you going really? Most of you on the webinar, you're here because you just don't have enough clients. And I wanted to just be really blunt and really honest and just give you, here's what's going wrong and here's what to do about it. Is that cool? So let's just talk about the problem. The biggest problem is that as coaches, we've fallen in love with the wrong thing. We're in love with coaching or consulting or speaking. If you look at somebody's business card and they have coach, speaker, author, like that's great that you're a coach, speaker, and author, but nobody woke up in the morning saying, you know what, I need a coach. Nobody woke up this morning saying, I want a coach. You know what they want instead? They were too busy thinking about their own problems and their own goals. So here's what happened. We're out there marketing the one thing that nobody's looking for and wondering why they're not responding. So if you look on your website and you've got the word coach on it, or your business card's got the word coach on it, I hate to break it to you, but that's a symptom. It's a little giveaway, like it's a tell to me that maybe we're focused on the wrong thing. And so the reason why it's not working right now is because we're out there promoting coaching and people aren't looking for coaching, like we talked about before with the seesaw. They're worried about their own problems, their own goals, and we're marketing ourselves as coaching. Number two, you've got amazing coaching skills, and they gave you great coaching skills when you trained. But coaching skills are too little and too late. They help you keep your clients longer, for sure. They help you get referrals, for sure. But if you haven't got clients to get results for and get referrals from, they don't help you get the clients in the first place. So they're great, but they're not enough. I think we talked about this already. You don't have a marketing system. You've got either hope-based marketing or a series of patchy promotions at best. I don't know where you train, but most people, the coaching skills, the marketing and sales skills they gave you at training don't work in the real world. Like if you're honest about it, either they worked great in the 90s, but not now, or maybe they sounded really good in theory, but were never field tested. It's like just giving you inadequate tools. Imagine like this little picture here is a little boy being sent out to a war, and all he's got is a water pistol. He's going, bad things are going to happen, and so it's not your fault. The other thing that happens is this. You got in this thing because you're passionate about serving people and making a difference. You got in this thing to coach, not to chase and harass and cold call and get rejected. And so you tend to avoid it. And when you do, gut it out and discipline it and take it's the numbers game approach, you chase and it repels clients. That's why you still don't have enough. Joe, by the way, I know you love that guy. My favorite slide's coming up really soon. I'm going to point it out. I think you're going to love it. So what's the impact of this? The impact of all of that is like this. Number one, your marketing fails. It's like having a dog whistle. You're blowing it really, really hard, really, really loud, giving it everything you've got to kind of blow the trumpet, and nobody hears you. They don't even know you're aware. And the only people you attract are kind of dog clients, right? It's why you still don't have enough clients. And if you're honest about it, like I didn't read out all of the answers right at the front when I said, how much did you make last month and how much do you want to make? The truth is that very, very few people on this webinar right now are making what I would call great money. And it's not about the money, but it's a really good way to know how well is my business doing. And there's a bunch of stuff that you just can't do without it. Okay. The hard part about this as a coach or a consultant or as a speaker is that your job is to help people become more successful, right? And if you're not living it yourself, if you're not successful yourself, maybe you're like a bunch of people I know had this thing where they'd go and visit their clients as a business coach, but they didn't want people to see what car they drove, so they parked around the back and would walk in. So you feel like a fraud. And maybe there's pressure from the people that your people you're doing this for in the first place to go back and get a job. And you know what? Honestly, maybe they're right. So here's the fix. Now I hate to drop the heavies on you, but I want to get you connected to there's got to be a better way. And the answer to the better way is it's called deal flow. Everything we've talked about today, if you put it together, gives you this result. It's called deal flow, which is more demand than there is supply. That little 500 thing, imagine that's your pipeline of opportunity, of leads and appointments and money and clients. You want it to be full open and flooding out. But most coaches, their pipeline's empty. They've got no new leads in ages. You go back to the same leads again and again and they're still not interested, right? Or maybe there's just nothing happening. Or you've got leaky pipes, a bunch of old leads that never converted. You've done okay, but there's somewhere in your money map there's a big leaking hole. Joe, my favorite slide is coming up next. Here's what happens to most people. You get frozen. You're paralyzed by all of the different things that people tell you to do, or you look at a blank page and you just get stuck. So you're blocked up and you don't know what to do next. So whatever your situation is, it's about deal flow. You don't want to be frozen shut or leaking or blocked up. So I want to know, how's your deal flow right now? Is it flowing? Is there more demand than there is supply, or is it rusted shut? Is it trickling? Is it leaking? Is it blocked up? Just take 5 seconds. Type into the box for me.
Where are you up to, guys?
Peter says, classic slide. Blocked up, trickling, trickle. I'm the guy on the loo. Blocked up, blocked, trickle, constipated. Thank you, Brett, for admitting that publicly. I won't give out your last name. Pipeline's empty. Right, so here's the thing. Lucas says paralyzed. I get it. Here's the thing. You don't want that anymore. You want deal flow. And so this is what you want. You want to have a situation where you have to, like I had to, put a page up on your website for all the people who want to work with you one-on-one. You have to kind of push them away. It says, hey, I do a very limited amount of coaching and consulting. It's $5,000 for a half day. It's $10,000 for a full day. If you need something quickly, I probably can't help. Unfortunately, there's just more demand for my time and attention than I've got available supply. The waiting list is usually 3 months in advance. If you're interested, email my assistant, Ashley. It's better if you've got a relationship already because we'll put you at the top of the queue. That's what you want for you. Like, I've got this great coach. His name's a great client. His name's Craig. And this is his weekly calendar. Those red spots, those little red blocks, they're current appointments. They're clients who he meets with every single week. He has 3 very big days. If you look, it's like a 7:30 start to a 6:30 finish. That's how he likes it, though, because he's got a 4-day weekend. He's doing $65K a month, but he's got deal flow sorted. See those 3 little green slots? They're the available slots. So when he does a marketing campaign, people know that it's to fill 1 of 3 slots. They're going to kind of play his way. Making sense? So the shift, kind of the choice. I've kind of done a whole bunch of these kind of choices through the webinar today. I think this is the 4th choice. You can choose to have roller coaster income, where it's all looking great and exciting and you're hanging on for dear life because some opportunities coming your way, and then you plummet. Maybe you're at the top where it started to slow down, or maybe you're hurtling down a little bit out of control, or maybe you're at the bottom and going, I hope it doesn't get any lower and I hope we kind of start to rebuild. I don't want that for you anymore. So you've got a choice. You can either choose, stick on the roller coaster, or you can get deal flow working for you where there's more demand than there is supply. I want to give you a second, just kind of pause and just be with yourself. What's your call on that? Is it time to get off the roller coaster and make it rain? So I don't know why you showed up on the webinar today. What brought you here? What was it about the emails that Joe sent? Maybe you're a solo coach or a consultant or a speaker and you love what you do, but you're just not doing enough of it. You're frustrated because you still don't have enough clients and the income's not where it needs to be. You've tried a few marketing strategies, but they haven't worked, and you're just sick of waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for the thing to finally happen, and it's just not. Or maybe you're already doing pretty well, and you feel like you've hit a ceiling and you can't break through. You're kind of in one of those barriers between survival and stability and success. You're somewhere on there kind of bumping into a ceiling and can't break through. Wherever you showed up today, I really hope you get this one thing. I hope you realize that deal flow is the key to having the business of your dreams. The first step is to look at your money map and highlight everything in red that's not working and stop doing it forever. Don't waste another second. Don't waste another minute. Don't waste another cent. Stop doing all the crap that doesn't work. And now you know that you can eliminate this roller coaster income by using deal flow marketing, using the money map, and fill your pipeline so full that demand exceeds supply. You can get all the clients you need by having prospects actually chase you, and you'll never have to pick up a phone and cold call again. So that brings up a question. The question that you've got to be asking right now is this. It's the how question. Well, I get it. I'm there. How do I create that kind of deal flow in my business, in my coaching business, my consulting business, my speaking business as quickly as I can? Well, you've got a choice to make. You can do it slow trial and error, right? Patch together some of the things you've learned from me on the webinar today and attempt to get it right. But I don't know about you. Every single person I see who does trial and error, it's always the slowest way. They're the ones with the bumps and the bruises and the stories of how it never worked. And a year later, they're still where they started, just with more pain. Or you can do it fast. You can reinvent, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just take a nuts and bolts A to Z system that's been proven to work with coaches just like you in every continent on the planet. English-speaking countries, non-English-speaking countries, in places where, coaching's brand new and nobody knows what it is, and in countries where coaching's been around a while and people are like, yeah, I tried that and it didn't work. You can shortcut the years of trial and error that I had to go through and that my clients had to go through before they found me. So what you don't want a big fat list of ideas or a to-do list, with all the projects you should be doing. You want to build a marketing system piece by piece, one project at a time. And the very first project you need to focus on, if you don't have your money map in place, if that's missing right now, if you've got holes in that marketing machine, that's the first leak to plug. And the very first project you build, the first one we work on together is called the 28-day lead blitz. It's 28 days, and it's about filling that money map up. So you've got green and green and green and green. And after that, it's just about opening up new channels every single month. Does that make sense? So before I show you how the 28-day lead blitz project works, what you do week by week if you're running a lead blitz in your business, I want to let you know it's not for everybody. I want to help you with it. But the first thing I need to let you know is this project's not for sharks. Like this marketing system I'm about to show you, this kind of first project, in 28 days, your business could be really, really different. But I don't want anyone who doesn't care about their clients to even have a whiff of it. So if you're in this for the money and you don't care about people, if you just want to chalk up some dollars and you go to see people to make a sale or collect a check and not to help a prospect, then this isn't for you. Making sense? Second thing I want to let you know up front is that there's no magic pills. You totally can have a business like I've been speaking about. I see it every single day. And one of the best things about my work is that twice a month I get to work with my clients one-on-one, and answer their questions and check in and see how they're doing. And I see this work time and time and time again. You can totally have it. But I'll never tell you can have it tomorrow morning by clicking your heels or wishing. I've spent the last 9 years building the ultimate marketing system for coaches. I've tried 300 or 400 different strategies, lost count at about 350. And for every one thing that worked, 4 or 5 didn't. So I want to give you the last case study of today. This happened early this year, actually, about 6 months ago. I got a coach. His name was Andrew, and he left a corporate job and moved to a small country town. So basically, left the city, safe, secure income, and moved to a small town where he didn't know anybody. And he decided to hang up his shingle as a coach. Sounds really cool, but here's the problem. Pretty quickly he realized that he didn't have anything in place, and he started to get desperate. He had no list, he had no leads, no clients, no pipeline. And he was like, well, Taki, I need your help. Like, he joined my program, but he's like, I really need some help. I've got nothing right now, and I reckon I've got like 2 months of cash available. And so I mapped out a 6-week plan for him. And it didn't have a name back then, but it's called, it's become the 28-day lead blitz. It worked incredibly, incredibly well. And if you think right at the start where we talked about that ladder, we ended up with 1,000 suspects at the end of week 1. By the end of week 2,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 1,000 suspects. By the end of week 2, he had 112 prospects, people who'd responded in some way. Then he invited the prospects to become leads and talk to him in a sales conversation. He ended up with about 30, maybe 31, I can't remember. And at the end of week 4, he'd converted the 31 into 6 clients. Now, that's not huge numbers, but he went from 0 to $12,000 a month in 28 days. And I want to show you how to do that step by step by step, using that ladder, using the money map, okay? So here's our goal. 28 days. Our goal is to sign as many big ticket clients as we can for you, right? Now, I said 28 days, that's 4 weeks. Those of you guys who are doing the math, it's like, well, this says 6 weeks. What's up with that, Taki? Well, I need to let you know. It's going to take a little bit of preparation up front in week 1. And then in week 6, we're going to do something pretty cool to celebrate. Cool? So that's the game plan. So here's how we're going to do it. Week 1 is all about getting organized to do your first monthly marketing project. Like most people haven't got anything in place, so we just need to do some basic stuff. So we start off with our strategic game plan. That's like week 1, we're going to do this. Week 2, we're going to do that. Just the things you need to have in place. I need to let you know up front, you don't need a website. If you haven't got your niche yet, please don't freak out. This is totally for you. You don't need anything, okay? Because in week 1, we work on your money map, and I help you pick a hunting niche for our North American friends. A hunting niche is this. I don't want you to feel any pressure to pick the right niche forever, but for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to help you pick the highest probability, most profitable market that you could possibly focus on for 6 weeks. Is that cool? At the end of 6 weeks, you can have a bunch of clients, and you can decide, do I want to keep doing this or do I want to do something else? But I've still got clients and I've still got money. Cool? It's called the hunting niche. Week 2, it's about creating your money magnet, your lead magnet. So week 1, we've planned your blitz. Next week is about generating leads. An irresistible lead magnet that attracts the most qualified leads. We're talking about suspects and prospects here. So we're going to identify their hidden buying motivation. So basically, I've got a little process that we're going to go through with that hunting niche in mind, where we identify fears and frustrations on one hand and wants and aspirations on the other. When we have those, we've got the 4 biggest hot buttons we need to press on. Then we do this thing called a magic bullet, where we create the most wanted. We can figure out what the most, the result they most want is, and we create a free piece of content, a money magnet, which shows them exactly how to get the thing that they most crave for free with no strings up front. So if you haven't got a lead magnet, it's not really pulling, we'll nail it in week 2. Week 3 is about booking appointments. It's called the prospect pipeline. So we've got leads. Now it's about getting them into your sales process. So our job is to fill your calendar up with ultra qualified prospects who really, really want your help. That's kind of the aim of the game. And so we do 3 things. Number 1, email triage. We've got a bunch of leads already in week 2. We need to quickly figure out who's worth talking to and who's not. Who's a now buyer and who's a later buyer. So we don't waste time talking to the people who don't need it. Number 2, we make them a strategy session offer. And I've kind of hinted about how to do that today with Alice, right? How to make people want your one-on-one appointment. So it's all reward and no risk. And then we use the instant appointment system. So the prospects actually click a link and book themselves into your calendar, and you don't have to chase them ever. There's no follow-up. There's no, did you get my email? Would you like to meet me? None of that. It just, they click a button and the next thing they're in your calendar. That's week 3. We going good so far? Is this sounding like a plan that you could follow? Love it.
Sounds very step by step.
Yeah. So week 4. Week 4 is about how to do the strategy session so people buy it. People actually hire you as a coach. 3 things. Our job is to sign clients over the phone. You can do it face-to-face if you want, but this has been most tested. I mean, it works both ways, but it's been tested even if you're in a local market, which is really small, and you've got prospects on the other side of the world, it still works beautifully. And like 70 to 80% is our aim. But you know what? Even if you only got 60% to hire you as a coach, you're still doing super, super well. So it's how do we do the strategy session, which is going to convert 60, 70, 80% of people into clients. It's about having people hire you at new, slightly higher fees, or maybe if you've been undercharging a lot, much, much higher fees, but making you really comfortable with fees that you charge. And then how to get hired so you don't have to push anyone into buying. We just use that, where do you think we should go from here question. And at the end, people say, I'd like to join you. Okay. In fact, I did one of those today, and somebody joined my $12,000 program. It was lots and lots of fun, and she got to choose to buy, and there was no push involved at all. I want the same for you. So check this out. So far, what have we got? We've got a plan. We've got some leads. We've got some appointments. We've got some clients. What do we need to do next? Well, you know what? We've got some clients, but we haven't got heaps of clients, and we've got a little bit of spare time. So why don't we, week 5, get more leads? And so week 4 is just about opening up new channels and getting people into that pipeline so that you sign them up as clients. So which of the high-end channels that are best suited for attracting really good qualified leads? And I'll show you my traffic blueprint. It's really, really simple, very step by step. And then week 6, I said before, was about celebrating afterwards. I want you to move from survival and stability up into success. And if you're already in success, into scale. So I'm going to show you the game plan for how to do that, how to automate your marketing, what system to use, what technology, etc. How to build a marketing machine so that it runs on autopilot every single month. And then the $1 million model. How do you escape one-on-one coaching and what can you do instead? Is this making sense? So Joe, does that kind of make sense as like a game plan?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It answers a lot of the questions that were coming up there about, well, how do I do this? And how do I automate it, etc. It looks like in this 28-day lead blitz, you're covering off all of the main questions that people have been writing as we've been going along. So I love it.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's the quickest way off the dunny if you've been constipated. Somebody's saying in here. So yes, yeah. That's true. So the 28-day lead blitz, it's $1,497 Australian. So if you're in the US, it's about that same price. If you're in the UK, you're going to save some money. That's the price of the lead blitz. Here's my challenge. I want to work with you for 6 weeks, and I want to make this just ridiculously easy for everyone to get started. Remember before I said that Joe teaches this thing about the no-brainer offer? So I want to kind of make this just so easy for you to say, yeah, I'm going to give this a go, right? So I want to work with you for 6 weeks. And in the 6 weeks, our goal is to build you a client-getting machine, even if you don't like selling and you suck at marketing. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to plan your blitz, generate the leads, book appointments, sign clients, get more leads, and then we'll do the $1 million model at the end. And because Joe's cool and I want to make this easy for you, it's going to be $497 instead of $1497. Does that make sense? Super, super simple.
Wow.
There's so it's like a third. And there's a payment plan. If you want to do it in 2 payments, that's possible as well. So where do you go? That's a top question. Where you go is right here. You go to startmyblitz.com. Okay, you're going to see a page that looks like that. Just scroll to the bottom, pop in your details, and literally in 3 minutes' time, you'll be inside the site getting access to week 1's content. So the most common email I get, dudes, is this. Hey, Taki, I just signed a new client in week 3. Thanks so much. Paid for already, by week 3. It's the most common thing I get. So I want to know, remember before I said, what was your income last month? And you had it in your brain, and they said, what do you want it to be? And then I talked about that horrible word, ignorance tax. What's it costing you not to get the marketing side of your business handled? If you knew how to do a blitz, you'd be at this number months and months ago. This is the chance for $500, $497, to get it handled, to build a money map, to open up channels that work, a lead magnet that pulls, a conversion tool that rocks, and sign up clients. I would love to help you for 6 weeks. So this is the part where we do the no-brainer bit. The Get Clients Guarantee. I want you to work with me for 6 weeks. It'll work for you. Like, I guarantee it'll work for you. If for whatever crazy reason my system doesn't get you the leads, the clients, the cash that it has for everybody else, I want you to do two things. Number 1, I want you to complain. And number 2, I want you to ask for a refund, because I'm going to give you the whole thing back. I'll buy it back off you, and an extra $5 just to say, thanks for trying me out. There'll be no hard feelings, no questions, no nothing, and we can still be friends. Is that cool? I just know that this is the thing that's going to get you what you need. So where to go is here. Startmyblitz.com. Joe, that feels almost no-brainer, but not fully no-brainer.
You're going to no-brainer it even more.
We're going to totally no-brainer it. We're going to make this so that Homer Simpson would get.
Oh, Taki, I love you.
Yeah, we're going to totally smash it. So I think we've done the will this work? I guarantee it'll work. Like, you are so totally safe. 2 payments or $497. I want to make this completely ridiculous if you sign up right now. And I get excited because I just know how much of a difference.
A question that's coming up that I think people need to know. In pounds, I just did the conversion for our British friends. It's approximately 323 odd pounds, depending on the exchange rate when you do it. So that's what it is in pounds, just for those guys who were asking.
Yeah.
So make it even more no-brainer, Taki.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's do some right now things. And I want to do Q&A at the end. And I know, Joe, you've been super generous with your time, and you need to go soon. So I'll do Q&A at the end. That's totally fine. Number 1, marketing a coaching or consulting business is totally different from every other kind of business, which is why if you've learned marketing somewhere else and it hasn't worked, that's probably why, because people don't even know what coaching is or what kind of a difference it could make. So I've got a training called Coach Marketing 101, which is literally how to talk about coaching in a way that people get, how to make offers that are irresistible people, and how to use education-based marketing so you don't have to be hypey anymore. It's $297 if you buy it on my site, and it's one of the 5 awesome bonuses for today. Number 2, a bunch of people were typing into the question box, how do I get the letters? How do I get the stuff? Well, here's how you get the letters and here's how you get the stuff. Everything I do is about awesome teaching and a really, really easy to follow template. So I don't want to leave you on your own with like an idea. For every single piece I talk about, I'll give you like a cut and paste template you can use. So including these 5 direct mail letters, some of which I showed today and most I didn't, which are proven to get appointments and sign clients, every single one. And 6 different email templates. I think I showed you 4 or 5 of those today. Okay? Email templates you can use to get people to respond, to book an appointment, to stick the appointment, or to find out their biggest problem. You get all those as well. Third cool thing, we're talking about opening up new channels. How do you do online marketing really, really well on a 0 budget? So I'm just going to give you that first CD there, Online Marketing for Offline Coaches, is just a really simple. Hey, you know what? If you don't do everything, but you just do this is how to get appointments and clients from the internet. The second CD is, it's got a fancy title, but really what it's about is how to do an email newsletter that just totally rocks. It's from a coach who's doing, actually, Joe, he's one of your students, Peter Rowe. He's doing, $700,000 or $800,000 a year, and his newsletter is the only marketing thing he does. And I'm just kind of grill him on how to do that incredibly well. Number 3, how do you use social media? Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Are they a total time suck, or can you actually turn them into a way to get clients? You totally can, and this is the system on how to do it. The 4th one is Secrets of Selling from Stage, which is, funnily enough, an interview with our friend Joanna Martin, and you should totally get that because she rocked. Number 5 is how to make sure your calendar is full with 5 appointments every single week. The very first mentor I had as a coach or a consultant gave me this advice. If you can just make sure your calendar has 5 appointments every week with prospects, you'll never have to worry about having enough clients ever again. And so this is the training on how to do that. I said there was 5 bonuses. Here's the 4th. I did a 1-day closed door training with my black belt $12,000 a year clients on how to sell high price coaching. And so this is the deepest step-by-step on how to get appointments and how to convert them into clients you'll ever get I think anywhere on the planet. And literally, people who've gone through that are converting an average, and this is like every group, they've got some winners and some duds, an average of about 70, 72, 73%. Okay, so you'll do incredibly well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty killer, right? All right, here's the thing I'm most excited about. I want to work with you after the Blitz for 55 days, and it's going to work like this. We're going to run a webinar 2 times a month. And on this webinar, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I'm going to say, hey, what's your biggest win in the last 30 days? And you're going to tell me what your success is, because I don't think you get celebrated enough. So we're going to cheer you on. Number 2, I'm going to say, hey, what's the marketing project you're working on right now? In other words, what in the Blitz or what in my monthly marketing project are you working on? Or maybe it's one of your own projects. What are you working on right now? That'll give me some context. And then I'm going to say, hey, what can I help you with right now? And you're going to tell me what you need. You're going to type it in the box like you have been today. I'll take you off mute like I haven't been able today. And I'm going to draw on my iPad for you. And I'm going to map you out your game plan and fix your problems. And I'm going to stay on the webinar until we're done. And I do it every 2 weeks. And it's the most fun thing I ever do because I get to help my clients smash it week after week after week. So I invite you to join me for 50
Wow, that's so generous, Taki.
It's pretty cool. And the last thing, I thought there was 5, but hey, there's 6. The monthly marketing projects. I want to give you the game plan. And if you stay with me after the Blitz, I've got a program which is built around these monthly marketing projects. It's $197 a month. And I want to give you 2 months for free of my monthly marketing projects. You're going to know what to do and how it works and take the template and make it work for you. So the Blitz is project number 1. And then after that, I'll give you project number 2 and 3 and 4. And you can stay with me as long as you like. Most people stay for the full year, but you can kind of bail at any time if that's your thing. So let me kind of quickly summarize. Here's how it's going to work, dudes. I'm going to help you build a 28-day lead Blitz, a client getting machine, and that's it's $497 or 300 and whatever it was pounds. As a bonus, I'm going to work with you personally every fortnight for 55 days on my webinars to help you get more clients. Make the stuff yours. Third, I'm going to give you 1 marketing project a month. Okay, building a marketing machine that brings you all the leads and all the clients you need and build your deal flow. If you like the coaching and you like the project, stick around. It's $197 a month after the first 2 months, which are free. If you don't like it, no hard feelings at all. Just flick us an email and we'll cancel you immediately and you just keep access to the Blitz and wherever you're up to so far. Does that make sense? So where to go is startmyblitz.com. I think this may already be gone, but I'm going to do it for the next 30 seconds. Hey, if you want a one-on-one session with me, first 4 people to sign up, we'll just look at the numbers afterwards. First 4 will get some time with me and we'll map your plan out personally. Cool. So where to go is here. And I just want to say, Joe,
Wow.
thank you. This has been fun. I love sharing my best with you.
Thank you, Taki.
It has been.
Oh, that's awesome. I cannot believe how much you've shared with us this morning. It has been absolutely incredible. You rock. Gang, I cannot recommend highly enough Taki and his step-by-step systems and templates and everything. Everyone I know who is a client of his absolutely loves it. So go to startmyblitz.com. Gang, what I'm going to do right now is leave you in Taki's ever so astute hands.
Yep.
If you have questions on Taki, I've seen a lot of questions come through as you've been chatting here.
Yep.
Some about the offer, some about content, and so on.
I'm just
Can
going
you
to stay
stick
here
around to take questions for a while for those who want to stick?
Totally.
Awesome. So, gang, I'm going to say ciao. Taki will tell you where to get the webinar, the recording, and the slides and everything, and ask all of your questions. He will answer as many as possible. And Taki, thank you so much for joining us as part of our program and supporting us in such a generous way as you have this morning. It's been awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey, you are totally welcome. Thank you so much, Joe. It's been heaps fun. I know you've got Portugal to go explore, so you go do that, and I'm going to look after people and answer questions.
Awesome. I'll see you soon.
Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm going to look in the question box. If you've got a question for me, type it in the box. I'm going to do my best to look after every single person to make sure your questions are answered. So let's just have a quick look. Beth saying, amazing. Does that include VAT? Yeah, all the taxes are included. There's nothing extra to pay. Okay, can you go over the offer again? There was a lot there and I'm not clear. Totally understand. I can do that. I'm sorry if it wasn't clear. It's really, really, really simple. Let's do the here's what you get. Okay, so the 28-day lead, which is the core thing. It's your very first monthly marketing project. It's new clients in 28 days, and it's 497 Aussie, which I think Joe said was like 323 UK. You get 5 proven direct mail templates ready to send. You get 5 email templates ready to send. You get the full practice fast, those 5 CDs to open up the best channels for you. You get how to sell high price coaching, that one-on-one, the closed door training I did about how to sell one-on-one. You get 55 days of coaching with me so I can customize the content for you and your situation and just help you smash it. You get access to the monthly marketing projects, one done for you system every 30 days. Total value is $9,277, and today you get it for that. Is that clear? Does that help? Thank you, John. Excellent. Have a look. Sabine says, does this work? Do you think this works as well for somebody that travels? Hey, Sabine, I travel like a madman. We just got back from 5 countries and 5 time zones in 3 weeks, and business is better than ever. So yeah, if you travel, it works really, really well. The beautiful thing about it is that it doesn't have to be like if you're a niche coach and your niche is I work in this local market, you can do that. But everything about it works brilliantly well for a hunting niche that is more about a particular kind of problem or a particular kind of person, and they could be anywhere. Secondly, the sales appointments, the conversations all happen by email, and the sales appointments happen over the telephone or over Skype. So if you're thinking about, hey, I travel, I'm international, or I'm in a regional area, yeah, it's totally for you, and you should feel really cool about that. Let me just go back a slide or two. One sec. There's heaps of questions, and I just want to make sure I look after you. Okay, so somebody's saying, what's the website again? I'll just put that up on the site there, and I might just chat this out. So it's www.startmyblitz.com. So I'm just going to send you a chat right now. You can just click on that if that's easier. Cool. Next question. Ben says, when I click on the payment plan, there's an issue with the amounts. It says $297, nothing for 2 months, and then $197 a month. Yeah, totally, dude. So it's $497 upfront, or you can do 2 payments of $297. You get 2 months free. That's the 0 for 2 months, and then $197 a month is if you want to stay in my monthly, my monthly marketing projects after that. So then that's the deal. Yeah, Karen says, hey, can you just do it? It sounds like a couple of people want to know. Can you explain the $197 a month? Are we signing that up for that as well? Yeah. I'm so glad you asked. So what's the best way to show you? Alrighty. Maybe here. So you get the Blitz and all of those bonuses. And then there's 2 things we do. Number 1 is the 55 days of coaching with me. And that's basically part of my $197 a month program, but I'm going to give you 2 months for free, right? Normally you'd pay $197 a month for that. And for the monthly marketing projects, which is 1 marketing project a month, I want to give you 2 months of that for free. And you can kind of decide if it's for you or not. If it's not, send us an email and we stop. And no hard feelings, it's cool. And if you want to keep going, don't do anything, and we'll just keep going at the $197 a month after 2 months for free. Does that make sense? Karen, I hope that helps. Let's have a look. Man, there's some good questions. So some of the questions are about the offer, some of them are about marketing. Let's have a look. Denise says, wow. Kerry, will I need a sophisticated IT unit or a website? I'm really glad you asked. Honestly, I teach online marketing. We do a lot of kind of sophisticated strategies later in the monthly marketing projects. But the Blitz, seriously, if you've ever sent an email, that's literally all the technology you need. You don't need a website. You don't need anything. Literally, all you need is Outlook or Apple Mail or Gmail, if that's what you use. Kind of some way to send an email. That's all you need. Okay, so if you're worried, hey, do I have the right technology? You don't need any technology at all except the ability to send an email. So if you've got that, then Start My Blitz is the thing for you, and you should totally jump on. Thanks, Pix. Appreciate the compliment. Gina says, will this work for me if I want to sell one-to-many? I don't do one-on-one appointments anymore. Yeah, totally will. In the bonus session, in the kind of the week 6, and also in the bonuses, I talk about how to generate leads and get people into webinars, workshops, and seminars, and how to sell. Now, if you've already got some training from Joe on how to sell from stage, then you're in really good hands. If not, she gave me permission to teach her system for coaches, and you'll get access to that as well. So Gina, yeah, if you want to sell to groups, totally. This is exactly where to start. Dana, this has been brilliant. Where will I be able to get copies of the slides or a replay? Yeah, so if you've been on the webinar until now, once we're done, I will run a report of who was on until the end, and I'll make sure we email you out a link to get the slides and a recording. The recording is probably going to take a few hours to convert and upload, so look out for that. Look out for that soon. Claudia, hey Taki, I can't seem to find your website. Could you give the website address again, please? No worries, Claudia. I've just chatted it out, startmyblitz.com. Bunch of people are there, so I'm just going to leave that on the screen. And if you have any trouble, please type it in. Leanne says, I'm in. Woohoo! Leanne, I'm looking forward to helping you. Peace. Peace or Pese? I'm really sorry if my pronunciation is not good. But Georgievsky. Love it. Very cool. I bought. Can't wait to get started. So let's talk about what's going to happen next, right? Because I haven't really kind of shown you the inside. This is kind of the fun part. Let's go over here to my site. Let me just bring that across. Okay. So once you're in and registered, here's what happens next. So you're going to get access to coachmarketingmembers.com. You'll get an email with a username and password. Okay. It's password protected, so not everyone can get in, obviously. Once you're in, the first thing I want you to do is just do it at the end of the webinar. Let's have a chat first. But press play on this welcome video. It's just going to explain, what you get, how it works, where everything is, and then just click underneath and take 20 seconds and just introduce yourself below. Just kind of say, hey, my name's Bar. This is what I do. Looking forward to getting started. Okay. Then along the top is pretty much the most important pieces. You've got the bonuses that I promised, and they're awesome. But you remember I said one project at a time and don't get shiny objected? So they're cool for if you've got spare time and you've done your homework. Got it? I want you to start here at the 28-day lead blitz. So if you click on that, you're going to have 6 weeks. Now, you might be able to see them or you might not. You get access to one a week for 6 weeks. Okay, so you won't automatically be able to jump ahead because I want to make sure you implement. If you click on week 1, you'll see some videos. Each one of these videos is short, between 5 and 10 minutes. I think the longest one might be like 12 minutes, something like that. So they're really short. Just click on the first video and watch away. Oops, I don't know if I've... let's just have a look. So you click on the link. It'll load up the video. Each of the videos, like I said, they're kind of short. I think I'm maybe even not logged in there. So you click on the video. Underneath is an MP3 you can download to your iPod or your iPhone, the slides, and the worksheets and templates for you to copy, paste, and send. Does that make sense? Here we are. Okay. So that's that. Then underneath that, we have the monthly marketing projects, which is, start with the lead blitz, but after that. So we've got your projects here, everything from how to identify and own a niche, how to do cut-through copywriting and get people to respond with sales letters and emails, how to do online marketing, website conversion kits. So what do you need to do with your website to get people to capture and convert them, how to do an automated follow-up funnel, no pressure close, how to sell one-to-many, joint ventures, and that's just the first few, right? Again, each one has some short videos to watch. You watch the video, let's say this one's 15 minutes, and then underneath you've got the MP3, the slides, and if there's a worksheet for that one or a template, you just copy, paste, and send. The last thing is the coaching. So we do these coaching calls like I talked about, and they're all here. So you'll be able to kind of jump in right now and learn from those. And you can have a look underneath about what sort of things we've covered in each of those and download whatever we talked about. Does that make sense? All right. So that was a question. How does it all work? Let's have a quick look. There's a ton of questions here. And there's well over 100 people on the line. So let's do this. Let's have a look. Thanks for being clear and inspiring us to feel we can do it. We can all do it. Marketing, that is. I keep dreaming of having a PA, but knowing that you've shared your tools has given me courage. Thanks for being so upfront. You're really welcome. My read is saying the link is not loading. A bunch of people have got in, so what I'd like you to do is just click on that link that I've chatted out again and have another go. If you have any trouble, just type in your name, your email address, a phone number, and your country. If you do have any kind of technical troubles or for whatever reason the gremlins aren't letting you through, just put all of your contact details into one chat, and I'll make sure that me or Angel or Ashley or Tom or Carolyn from my team just gets in touch and it will help you personally if you do have any trouble, okay? Simon's saying, Joe, where's your gift? Dude, I reckon we smashed the no-brainer of it, and if Joe wants to add something later, she can, we can let you know. Awesome. Are you going to send me the slides? Yeah, I totally will. How do I sign up, says Barry. Yep, startmyblitz.com. Barry, that's where to go, startmyblitz.com. How's the content delivered? Awesome question. It's delivered 2 ways. Firstly, the lead blitz is delivered with online video. So each week you'll get access to that week's training, just go through them. It's one of the questions I've seen here is how long is it going to take me to do it each week? It's going to take you 90 minutes. So about an hour, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more some weeks, but an hour to go through the training, and then 30 minutes to take the template and fill it, tweak it and send it out. Does that make sense? So you want to aim for about 90 minutes a week is kind of how much it's going to take you. And then we do webinars, which is delivered obviously by webinar, and that's how we go. Brendan, hey Taki, do you find that Aussies are resistant or wary to the swipe file template letters? No, I find that Americans are the most receptive to out there marketing, and I find that in New Zealand and the UK, people are much more conservative, and that's okay. And then in Australia, they're kind of maybe somewhere in between those two. So if you're in Australia, just so you know, I am too. You probably figured that out from my accent. Yeah, the strategies work really, really well. So if you're in a market where it's okay to be blunt and direct, then some of those letters are good. If you're in a market where it's better to be a little bit more conservative and perhaps a little bit more educational, like we've been talking about, then some of the other letters and definitely most of the emails are much more toned down and just work because they tap into the way people want to buy, not the way they want to be sold. Does that make sense? Leanne saying, hey, Taki, I'm in already. Hey, Leanne, welcome. John, just signed up, very excited. Where should I start? Well, John, like I said before, the best place to start, mate, is the bonuses are cool, but honestly, press play on the video and then start with a Lead Blitz week 1, okay? Welcome. Where can I get the slides? I will send them to you, Barry, no worries. I'm a leadership trainer for the media industry and I sell training primarily. Does it work for this? Yeah, it totally does. It works for coach, consult, and train. And let me tell you why. It works for coach, train, and consult because I guess you're the specialist in how you deliver your service, but the way you actually get the opportunity to do those things is almost the same. Obviously, there's a little tweak from industry to industry, but the way you get a coaching client or a consulting client or a training client, the marketing that gets you to that point is almost identical. And often the sales consultation, if you do it the way I teach, is the same. What you deliver afterwards or the solution that you propose, that's different. And does that make sense? So if you're a trainer, yeah, this will totally, totally work. Karen says, it was brilliant. How does the program run? So I probably covered this a little bit, but I just want to make sure that everyone feels heard. Does the program, how does it run? Is it weekly webinars with tasks to complete? Yeah, it works with weekly videos with tasks to complete. And it'll take you about 90 minutes a week, 30 minutes to kind of copy, paste, and send, or fill in a worksheet, and about 60 minutes to learn the stuff. Does that make sense? And then every 2 weeks, we run a webinar. In fact, we've got one on in a couple of days' time, and Ashley, my awesome assistant, will send you details about those well in advance of each one. Okay. Divion, you're welcome. What if you're not a coach but have a legal services business? How will it work? Okay, so let me talk about who it's for and who it's not. If you work, if you have a service that's expensive, that helps people get a specific result, and you're able to get them a return on investment or a particular ROI, then this will work for you. It works especially well for coaching and consulting. But I have a ton of people in professional services who use the system without changing a single thing except what they sell at the end. Okay. So Helen, I'm not sure where you're from, but yes, if you sell legal services, this strategy will totally work. You just need to know that I'm going to be speaking about coaches and consultants, and every time I do that, just pretend I said legal services, and you'll be fine. Castio, you're welcome. Paula, does the process have to start now? Can it be moved by a month? So it sounds like you've got something going on in your life that's busy for the next month. That's totally okay. Here's what you do: is you go to startmyblitz.com and you get registered. When you get the email from Ashley with your username and password, just hit return, hit reply to it, and just let her know when you're back. And you can do it, by 30 days. That's totally okay, and we'll hold that for you. But you need to let her know by email because otherwise she won't know, Paula. Does that make sense? So yeah, feel free. Startmyblitz.com is where to go. Denise, awesome question. What if I'm starting from scratch? I'm so glad you asked. Hey, so if you have a look at the slide here, I built the 28-day lead blitz, if you remember, for a coach who was starting from scratch. Like he had no list and no leads and no pipeline and no clients and no nothing. And so it's built for if you've got something, you're going to accelerate much, much faster. You're going to use this to take you to the next level. But if you're starting from scratch, this is exactly where to start, because I'll help you. Number one, choose the right target market to speak to in week 1. Week 2, we'll create the perfect marketing message for them and a piece of, a lead magnet that you can put in front of them. And then we'll get you your first appointments and your very first clients in week 4 and 5 and 6. Does that make sense? So if you're starting from scratch, please don't go off and do some really long, lengthy training. or ponder your navel trying to get the niche right, this is exactly where to start. Like, it's literally designed for, I don't have a website, I don't have an email system, I don't have anything. Ben says, will this work for a website design business? I'm going to give you the same answer as I talked about with legal services. If you, especially with any kind of professional service or B2B, this is it's ideal. You're just going to need to, every time I say coach or consultant, you're going to have to go web design. Ben, does that make sense? Yeah, I've got web designers in my program and they kick butt. Helen says, if I get the package, how do I contact you? Helen, well, you're going to be getting emails from me. We're going to be on the webinar every 2 weeks. But if you've got something specific, just type it in the question box, a little bit more detail so I can answer you better. I love this. Brett goes, is it guaranteed even before Christmas? That's such a killer question. Because right now it's what? It's like halfway through October. What do I do? It's nearly Christmas time. Will it work? Well, yeah, let me show you something pretty cool. I didn't talk about this before. But a lot of people freak out at the end of the year. Hey, can I get clients? It's like it's October, or it's November, or it's December, or it's January. Maybe I should wait. You know what? I've got a training that we do every year, and I actually haven't launched it out publicly to my list yet, but you'll get access to it. Ashley just loaded it in yesterday. It's called Clients by Christmas. See this one down here? And it's a strategy that we only ever use in November and December. So it totally works. And it's how to get clients just before Christmas each year. And there's only one strategy that consistently works in November, December. That works because it's the end of the year. And I didn't know it when I first worked with Simon, but yeah, it's guaranteed even before Christmas, and you'll get the Clients by Christmas training as well. Okay, so if you're worried about, oh crap, it's the end of the year, will people buy? Yeah, they totally can. Paula says, reminder, can we have the slides and the replay, please? Paula, yes. Here's how that's going to work. Once I'm finished answering everybody's questions, we'll run a report on who was on the webinar until the end. And if you're on the webinar to the end, which obviously you are because you're asking me a question, I'll make sure we email you a link to download both. So the slides will come really quick. The video might take the replay video might take a little bit longer because we've got to convert it, and that's going to take a few hours. Does that make sense? Marie, does this work for corporates who have longer lead times? Yeah, you're right. The big difference between small business or personal and corporate or executive is the lead times are longer and there are more people involved. So yes, it works. It needs a little bit of tweaking and translation. So I'll say it's like maybe an 85 to 90% match for you, whereas for the others it's been 100. So what I'd say is, Marie, why don't you jump on and you be the judge? Why don't you work with me for the 6 weeks, and at the end of the 6 weeks, it'll either have smashed it or we will have come close. And if we've come close, you can say, you know what, it was close and I tweaked it and I made it work, or you know what, it wasn't for me, and just ask me for a refund. I'll be more than happy to buy it back from you. Marie, does that help? So yeah, I've got a bunch of people in the corporate executive market, and they use my program and it works really, really well. But if you're not sure, have a go. We'll work together for 6 weeks, and I promise I've got your back. I'm an honourable gentleman. I'd be happy to buy it back from you if it's not for you. Simon says, when does the 6 week start? The 6 week starts today. It's built around you. So you join right now and you'll get access to week 1 right now. In 7 days, I'll open up week 2 for you, and then week 3 and week 4. So when does it start? It starts right now. The time, the best time to have built a marketing machine was like 6 months ago. And the second best time, Simon, is today. Melinda says, please tell us where to get the webinar recording. It's getting late in Australia. Yeah, I'm in Australia. It is getting late. It's like 19 p.m. And I've mentioned now, I don't know when you type that in, but yeah, I'll give you the link. Right? I've said that I'll email you out a link to download the webinar recording. Does that make sense? Halen says, is everything, i.e. the package, all electronic? Yeah, actually not so much. It's 90% electronic, but you'll get a little surprise in the post. I don't want to give too many details away. But yeah, there's a package in the post to help you through the monthly marketing projects. Does that make sense? It'll explain those in great detail. And you'll get your first monthly marketing project delivered to your letterbox, your mailbox, your house, or your office. Helen, does that make sense? Okay. Hey, Taki, I bought the program. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm really excited about working with you. I've got until the 27th of November, which is when my first one-day seminar is. I don't know where my clients are coming from. Will the program help me fill the room and leverage awesome content? Yeah, totally will. Your last name is Georgievsky, and I'm going to say Pese, or it might be Peace, but I'm not really sure. Okay. So when we talk, when we unmute, you can let me know. Yeah. So let me tell you a little story. One of the things you're going to get is a training called the 7-minute sales letter. In fact, it's not designed to be part of your program for a month or so, but just everyone, if you want to get access to that, I'd be more than happy to give you access right now. If you've got an event coming up, like a seminar you need to fill or a webinar that's coming up soon, and you're just not sure that you're going to be able to pull the numbers. One of my clients in England was is a business coach who works with builders. And it was Thursday night his time, and he was on a training with me, and he said, "Hey, Taki, I've got a workshop booked in for Tuesday. The room fits 50 people, and I've only got one person booked in so far." He was freaked out because it was in like 4 days, and it was the weekend coming up. And so I showed him what to do, and we mapped out a sales letter. It took him, minutes, like maybe 20 minutes tops, to send this thing out. Copy, paste, send. And we call it the 7-minute sales letter. And he sent this out on Friday at 5 p.m., which is like possibly the worst time ever to send a promo email because everyone's kind of already checked out or away on the weekend or whatever. Anyway, he comes back into work on Monday morning, and he's got 48 people that have registered 49 people have registered over the weekend by email, by voicemail, like left messages on his machine, and have registered. And so then he comes in the next day, he's got 50 people. Actually, that's not true. He had 49 people in the room. There was one, we didn't quite make it. We were short by 49 people total. And people literally walked in and said, "Hey, I think I saw somewhere that the seminar's free, but it sounded so good. I brought my checkbook just in case. How much is it?" Anyway, so long story short, if you've got a workshop coming up, totally this will help you. And just when you get your welcome email from Ashley with your password, just hit reply and say, "Hey, Taki mentioned something about the 7-minute sales letter," and I'll give you that as well, which will show you how to fill a workshop. Cool. Zena, will this work? Could this work in post-divorce coaching? Yeah, it totally could. Any kind of coaching where there's a big problem, and post-divorce is an obvious one, this could totally work. Mariette, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but what a great first name. Surname's Kelly. Got it now. You're welcome. Simon says, presumably scale could mean building a business with multiple coaches. Yeah, there's two ways people do it. Either through multiple coaches and you become the head coach model, like a firm, or licensing. And the second way that we often do it, and honestly is the kind of the path that I've chosen, is to leverage through technology. And so we teach groups like webinars like we're doing right now. And we have live workshops where there are groups of people and we send people stuff instead of multiple coaches. You can do it either way, but I personally, my option has been scale through content delivery and technology, because it's a little bit simpler for me to run. Barry says, can you confirm money back guarantee? If so, I'm in now. Hey Barry, yeah, no worries, dude. Let me just flick back a few slides and I'll show you the guarantee. Thanks, dude. There's still over 100 people on the line, so thank you. I'm loving being able to have the conversation with you a little bit more personally. So the Get Clients Guarantee, hopefully it should be on your screen right now. Here's what it says. Deploy the lead blitz into your market. I'm sorry, I did rush over this perhaps a little bit before. Send it to work for you, filling your pipeline with hot leads and high-paying clients. In the unlikely event that the systems and the templates don't get you the same leads, clients, cash they have from my other clients, please send me back. So I'm going to send you something in the post. Just send it back to me. I'll buy it back to you at full price on the spot. And I'll give you an extra $5 to say thanks for having a try. So just work with me for 6 weeks. At the end of 6 weeks, if it hasn't worked, totally cool to say, you know what, wasn't for me. I had to go. And I'll say, yeah, man, you had to go. And I'll buy it back from you. I'll give you an extra $5 and we can still be friends. Does that make sense? So there's no, you don't have to prove how you used it. You just have to give it a good, honorable go, Barry. Does that make sense, dude? Where can I get a copy of the slides? Okay. If you want a copy of the slides, please listen. I've answered this 3 or 4 times now, but I just want to make sure that everyone who wants the slides listens. Okay, if you want a copy of the slides and a copy of the recording, once the webinar is done, I will produce a report of who was on the webinar until the end. And if you were on the webinar to the end, you'll get an email from my assistant, Ashley, with a link to download the slides and a few hours later, a link to get a copy of the video, the recording. Is that helpful? Okay, do me a favor. If that made sense to you and you understand how to get a copy of the slides, can you just raise your hand in the webinar, in the control panel, so I know that that's been heard? Yay! Lots of hands. Awesome, everybody. That's great, great, great. Thank you. Steve says, "Oh man, putting my details. It's taking me back to the sign up form again. Have I registered?" Steve, rather than log into my shopping cart right now and check, can you do me a favor, Steve Hanlon? Can you type in your name, your phone number, and what country you're in, and I'll check as soon as the webinar's done. We'll call you personally and just confirm. Is that cool? So name, phone number, what country you're in, and as soon as we're done, I will promise I will check and I'll get back to you personally. And if not, we'll take care of it, one-on-one. And if not, if you are, then I'll just confirm that. Is that cool, Steve? Ben says, how long in between the two payments? Yeah, they're a month apart. So one now, one in 30 days. Cool. Simon, if you don't call yourself a coach or a consultant, what do you put on your business card? Thanks. Hey, Simon, we'll answer that in the training, I promise. Ross says, thanks for your time. You're welcome. I'll assume not as email. Yes, Steve, so just details. Franco. Hey, Taki, great stuff. I've literally just started as a transformative coach, so coming to this with a blank canvas. Looking forward to sharing my success. Franco, me too, man. Like, if you don't have to undo a whole lot of stuff, that's a real advantage. Hey, you've got nothing to start with. We can only go up from here. Franco, hey, in other words, I've just signed up. Yeah, I figured as much. Great to have you on board. Looking forward to help. Rosalind, can you explain the 28-day lead blitz again and what you're getting there? Yeah, I totally can. Probably the easiest way to do it is just to do the quick little step through. So let me click some buttons. One. I've lost my mouse. Does anyone see my mouse? There, I got my mouse back. That's so funny. Let's have a look at how the blitz works. Okay, so basically, the most important thing for you to understand is that for 6 weeks, I'm going to walk you through one step at a time, very, very hands-on, very, very practical. And I'm never just going to say, here's what you need to do. I'm going to say, here's what you need to do. Here's why you need to do it. Here's how to do it step by step. And then I'm going to say, and rather than just giving you that, I'm going to say, here's the template for you to copy, paste, like tweak for you and send. So for every week, there's a worksheet. And for most of them, there's a template to send. Does that make sense? So how does it work? Well, week 1 is just about getting ready. We're just going to get our ducks in a row so that the blitz itself is easy. So we're going to do game plan, going to help you with your money map. And the most important thing we really do in week 1 is we're going to focus on who is the person who is the most likely person to hire you in the next 6 weeks. Does that make sense? So that's the hunting niche. Week 2 is about getting leads. So week 2, once we've picked our hunting niche, it's about getting really deep in their head and figuring out what they need, what they want, what they aspire to, what their fears are, what their frustrations are, and just picking out of that, we're going to pick one problem to solve, and we're going to create a lead magnet together in week 2. And I'll walk you through it. It's very, very, very step by step. So there's a worksheet, you fill it in, and you walk away. At the end of week 2, you've got your lead magnet done. Week 3 is not about leads as much as it's now about getting appointments, getting people to want to talk to you one-on-one or come to your workshop if that's your thing. Okay. So we formulate, I give you the template for a strategy session offer, and we get people to click a link and book themselves into your calendar. And that's the only piece of technology that we do use. It's really, really easy. You don't even need it, but if you do, I show you how to do it. It's a piece of software that I didn't invent. We just use it. It's super, super cheap. It's like $49 for a whole year. I think, in fact, I know it's $49 a year, and I think you get a month for free. So even if you didn't use it afterwards, just use it for the blitz. You'll rock it. Okay. Week 4, they've booked an appointment with you now. What do you do in the appointment to sign them up as a client? That's what we do in week 4. So I show you how to take those appointments and convert them into high-paying clients really excited to work with you, and you won't have to do any push at all. Week 5. Week 5, now you've got a little sales system. It's just about more marketing and opening up a new channel. So I'm going to show you the 3 channels, which are the ones that I would use next after the one that I show you in week 2 and 3. Does that make sense? So you can open up a couple of new channels. And then week 6 rather, you've done the blitz. Many people use the blitz as a way to get it from out of either struggle, survival or stability. So then it's all about what's next. How can we get more successful, and how can we start to scale? And we talk about automating your marketing, owning your niche, and how to increase your income without having to do any more one-on-one coaching. Rosalind, does that help? Was that fairly thorough? Hopefully that's useful. Sabina, do you need an existing list? No, you don't need a list at all. We get the list in week 2 and 3, and then again in week 5. You don't need a list. I'll show you how to get the list. Literally, people usually end up with a list of between 500 and 1,000 names that they didn't have before. So if you don't have anyone right now, yeah, you're perfect. Eileen, this looks like a detailed question. Let me have a look. Okay, let's have a look. I have a financial analysis tool for the mobile phone industry aimed at dealers to assist in analyzing, reconciling commission receipts for the service industry. Can you help me market that? That's a really specific question, Eileen, and to be honest, without further conversation, I'm not sure. If you want to have a quick chat with me or one of my team, just type in your details and say, just type into the thing, mobile phone industry, please call me, and one of my assistants will get in touch and just have a conversation about whether it's for you or not. I can't answer that off the top. Kerry says, thank you. Steve Hanlon, I've got your message. Can you just give me your phone number, please? That'd be really helpful so I can take care of you personally. Pix says, who are my mentors? I've got different mentors in different areas of my life, Pix. I've got a few people I learn from in the marketing arena, and then people in my personal life, some people around, some people around business, and people around health. My health guy is going to wake me up very early in the morning. I'm going to shoot down to the beach, and we're going to train at the beach kind of 3 days a week. And so I've got different mentors in different areas. I think that's a smart thing to do. Maureen O'Neill, can you please type in all of your contact details, please? So I'd really love your phone number and what country you're in and your email address, and I'll make sure I take care of you. Sounds like there's 2 or 3 people who are having some trouble just getting the site to kind of let them in. If that's your situation, please just type into the question box right now your name, your email address, your phone number, and what country you're in, and I'll just make sure we get in touch personally and look after you, okay? Thank you, Luca. Appreciate that. Appreciate your comment. Nomiki has a question. Hey, I'm tucking my children into bed. I have a question to ask soon. Nomiki, you've got... here we go. Thank you. Here's the question. Is this lifetime membership or is it over after 6 weeks? No. I'm going to give you access to the Blitz forever. Okay? The monthly marketing projects, you can have access to those as long as you're an active member of my Coach Marketing members site, but the Blitz you'll have forever. Cool? Question number 2. What if I'm not a coach? I'm setting up an online information business. I can see the application of your principles. Is this appropriate? Yeah, it totally is, Namiki. I'm glad you picked up on that. Because what we're really doing is we're using education-based marketing to build a list, to get people to a conversion tool, and then to sign up for your program. So yeah, if you're an online information marketer, or you've got an information business, then this is totally where to start. That's exactly. I mean, if you look at my business, I'm an information. I teach people information just like you do. Okay. Hey, Diana McKenzie. Thanks, Starkey. Seriously, you've been so skilled and so generous with your expertise. Thank you so much. Joe was right. You're a great guy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sonia, yes. If I join the 6-week program, can I start at that date? You can. I just need you to reply to Ashley's welcome email with the username and password and tell her that date. Is that cool? Irene, did I make it in as one of the first 4? I had a lot of trouble registering. Irene Davison, are you listening? I promise we will look after you. I'll hook you up. Cool? Leanne, how do I know if it was one of the first 4? You get an email from Ashley. By the way, dude, it's like 9:34 in Australia. Ashley's overseas, and it's pretty late for her as well. So you probably get an email tomorrow if you were one of the first 4. Is that cool? Look out for an email, and it'll say you were one of the first 4! Exclamation mark if you were. Neville says, I'm on the site. It needs a state, but I'm in the UK. Great question. The shopping cart I use is from America, dude. I wish it had the Australian states and the UK states up top, but it doesn't. I'm pretty sure you have to scroll to the bottom. So, Neville, have a look right down the bottom. See if you've got a UK state. If you don't, have a look, right? If, Neville, you can't find a UK state or anyone else who's looking for a UK state or an Australian state or a not American state, do what I do. Just pick California and we'll hook you up. As long as the rest of the country's right and your zip code or postcode's okay, pick California. That's what I'm going to do. And my guys will just look after that, and I'll just look for anyone who says California. We'll just make sure we change that to where you really are. Is that cool? But I'm pretty sure the UK areas are scrolled down to the bottom. Denise says the link is working. Awesome, Denise. Steve, got your details. Awesome, rock and roll. I'll look after you. Barry, got your details. Gary, I'm guessing you're... Barry, whereabouts are you in the world? Can you just type in your country so I can make sure we call you at an appropriate time? Jane, can you please do me a favor? Jane Anderson, I've got your message here. That is possible. And again, I'm going to need your contact details, so your phone number, etc. And we'll just, because the website, that sign up now website is going to go down. It's not going to be available for 2 days. Okay. So give me your phone number and a country and an email, and we can make that work for you. Brendan, what if I don't have a list to access? Totally cool, dude. That's what it's about. Week 1 or week 2 is about getting you knowing who we're going to build a list of, and week 2 through to week 5 is all about building a list. So yeah, you will have a list by the time you're done. I guarantee it. Okay, so if you're worried, hey, I don't have a list yet, is this right for me? Yeah, it's totally right for you. Tony Allen, here's my email address for the slides. No worries, dude. We will hook you up. I've had no problem with the link. Great webinar. Thanks. You're welcome. Cecilia, awesome question. Cecilia Rebello, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Would this work in a country with financial problems where coaching is new and most people don't know what it is? I'm not sure which country you're talking about, Cecilia. I'd love to find out. Yeah, here's why. It's because we're not marketing coaching. Even in Australia, like, coaching's been around for ages. No one knows what it is. Like, seriously, or the people that think they do are wrong. So if you're in a country with financial problems, yes, this will totally work. There's a bunch of places in the world which have been kind of really badly hit. In Spain, our nanny is from Spain, and it's pretty tough over there right now. It's like 50% unemployment in some age groups, right? So would this, or maybe more? So does it work in countries with financial troubles? Yeah, it totally does. It really, it 100% does. And it works because we're tapped into what people want, and we're not focused on buy my coaching, which is about money leaving my wallet. We're talking about solve my problems and education-based marketing, which is how everyone wants to learn about fixing their problems. So yeah, it totally works. It works in areas where people don't know what coaching is, because we don't talk about coaching until the very, very end of the strategy session in week 4. After they've said, how does it work? Then we talk about coaching, but up until then, we don't even mention the C word. Rosalind says, does the program get into any selling any other products than your coaching consulting, like information products, for example? It totally does. Week 6, that's exactly what we do. We talk about how to move from coaching to training and products, the kind of products that make the most sense, and how to make that shift. So yeah, Rosalind, we go into it deep. And twice a month when we do our Q&A webinars, one of the questions that comes up a lot is about how to move into information products. So if you've got a specific thing you're working on, I can help you, nail your big idea, and I can show you the best ways to kind of leverage your content into product, and then how to market that as well. So just jump on the live coaching webinars with me, and we will smash that. And we cover it in depth in week 6. Cool. So if you want to get into not just coaching, but what's next, into the kind of the success and scale parts, jump on. The 28-day leaflets will build you the perfect foundation, and then we can go from there into info products and training and products. Cool. Is the opening page welcome to your receipt and access? Irene, I really want to help, but I don't understand your question. I'm really sorry, dude. Can you give me much more detail and I'll help? Leanne says, hey, I'm already in the members area. I can't believe there's still like 93 people on the webinar right now. I'm going to go until the questions are done, okay? And makes sense, seems very business owner targeted. My market is corporates. Totally understand, and great question. So yeah, a lot of the examples that we've gone through today are in the business to business, small business world. I've got, you have to kind of break it up, 3 different kinds of coaches. I'd say probably 70 or 80% of the people in my program are business coaches, because that's my core, my core tribe. And then I've got a group of coaches who are more personal coaching, doing relationships, life, career, etc. And then I've got corporates would be the, probably the second, and then personal would be the third. Does that make sense? So kind of business, corporate, etc. Yeah, so people successfully use my stuff very, very well in the corporate market. People, I've got clients right now who've got huge opportunities in Hewlett Packard and a couple of the Fortune 500s using my stuff. What I'd say is, and there's no risk. So why don't you try me out for 6 weeks, and at the end of 6 weeks, if you couldn't make it fit your market, then that'll be my fault, not yours, for having a go, and I'll buy it back from you, and there won't be any hard feelings. And does that make sense? Roy, does it cover how to get people to market to? Yeah, I'm really sorry if I didn't explain this clearly. We totally do, and we do it in week 2, and then we do it again in depth in week 5. Does that make sense? So yeah, we totally do. Week 2 and week 5 are all about how to get the list of people to market to the database. Karen says, thanks, that's very clear. I just realized I'm on a, let me click through and get, some people are saying I need this, the URL again. It's right here, startmyblitz.com. Okay, I'm a holistic therapy. Gemma, I'm Gemma Claire. I'm talking to you. I'm a holistic therapist and therapeutic bodywork specialist. This year I started teaching massage. Are you moving from one-to-one to one-to-many? Would your system work for me? Yeah, totally does. I'm so glad you asked. Here's how it works for you. Number one, when you sell one-to-many, you still need a money map, right? You need a way to, you need a channel to get your message out there. You need a lead magnet to get people in, and then you need a conversion tool. Now, your conversion tool might be a one-on-one appointment to move people into your teaching, or you might have a one-to-many conversion tool, i.e. a workshop or a seminar or a teleseminar or a webinar, and I'll show you how to do those as well. So yeah, the system works totally well. Whether you want to sell one-on-one or sell to groups, whether you want to coach one-on-one or you want to coach groups, you know, with information products and training, this is the very, very best place in the world, I believe, to get started. Barry, thank you so much for your message, Barry Wilkinson. I've got that. Can you do me a favor, Rockstar? You'll be in my system anyway, but if you just send me a message with your phone number, if you haven't already, and one of my awesome team will be in touch just to look after you and make sure you've got access to everything you need. Cool? Sonia, depends on the dates. Tell me when. Got a dash. Congrats, Taki. Thank you. Pix, you're so welcome. Yeah, Marie, this is a question that's come up a few times. If you're just getting started and you have a really small list, does it show you how to get a list? Yes, 100%. Beth Sullivan, yes. I've got people in your exact niche doing really, really well right now in a couple of different continents, so totally you'll do well. Tony, if we buy today, we want to start in January, is that okay? Let me just think about my dates here. No. No, January, give us your details and I'll be in touch and I'll let you know about another alternative. But yeah, starting now and starting in 3 months, yeah, wish we could do that, but that's a bit far. Susan, send me an email too. It's almost midnight here and I can't think anymore. Hey, it's pretty late here. I can't think either. Good night, nodding off. Welcome. Thanks, Denise. Thanks, mate. Referred to you before I saw Joey's invite. You're good. We'll join up. Thanks, Brendan. Will the clients by Christmas be part of the 28-day lead blitz? Yeah, in the bonus area. In fact, it's sitting there right now just waiting for you, dude. So under the bonuses tab, all of the bonuses we talked about are sitting there kind of ready for you to get into your hot little hands. So including how to sign clients by Christmas, that's sitting there. It's ready. It's there right now, and you can click on it and watch. Back of the envelope business plan. So if you're a little bit unclear, you just want a game plan, it's kind of the best system I know for kind of working out, getting rid of all the overwhelm and just picking, this is what I'm going to do first, right? The conversion intensive is the 1-day training on how to sell your coaching one-on-one. All of the other bonuses are here in these little black folders. And Coach Marketing 101, how to market a coaching business as opposed to any other kind of business, is the first bonus right there. Dina, does that help? Holy mackerel. Hey, what if I can't stay to the end? Will I still get the slides and audio? Hey, dude, you can go right now. It's totally okay. Some people are like, you don't have to stay until I say done. Like, we are done. I will make sure you get a copy of the slides. So if you're just hanging on for that, and you don't have an actual question, you can go right now. You have my blessing. New clients, I'm really pumped about working with you. If you're staying on, because you've got to hang on to get the slides, you're okay. Totally cool. You can go right now. I will make sure we hook you up. Does that make sense? You don't have to stay until the very last second. I meant until the content part of the webinar was done. If I wasn't clear about that, that's my mistake. Cool. There we go. She's gone. Perfect. Have a great sleep. Sorry, Taki was missing for a bit. Is this lifetime membership or is it over after 6 weeks? You'll have access to the Blitz for life. Okay. The 28-day lead Blitz, if you want to stay on with me after that into the monthly marketing projects, that's month by month by month. But yeah, you have access to the Blitz forever. Barry Jackson, the form state is a required field, but I'm not in the States. Scroll down, you should be able to see some states from overseas, and if not, just pick California, and I'll make sure we look after you, okay? How long is this price valid for? It's just, Peter Bayless, it's a webinar deal for today. Okay, so we'll do the next 48 hours, and the site will come. That kind of link will come down. So let's just say for you, 48 hours. Hey, Petsy. Now I know how to pronounce your name, Georgievsky. It's so good to have you in my program. I'm looking forward to helping you grow. Hey, Taki, I do mindset stuff like insert well-known guy here. Can you help me replicate what he has done? So I'm not familiar with his whole system, but if he is a well-known player in a niche, and you and I both know he is, but I don't want to kind of mention names. I can help you get a full consulting business, a coaching business, and I can help you get a full group training business and an online platform if that's what you want. Irene, scared but excited. That's exactly it. If you're scared and excited, then it's totally right. Seriously, that's my, for me, that's my gut signal. Am I excited? Yeah. Am I scared? Yeah. Okay, then I need to do it. So just got started. We'll email Ashley. Thank you, Irene. Welcome. Thank you so much for guiding me to finally changing my future. You're so welcome. I'm really pumped about helping you out. Helen Nosa, I've got your message. I need your contact details, and we'll be in touch, and we can help you out with that. But I need phone number, email address, and what country you're in, so we can call you at a good time. Cool. Richard said, message you on Facebook at the beginning of this to say how great your presentation is. You're welcome. Signed up. Richard, really excited about working with you, man. We're going to smash it together. The next 6 weeks and beyond are going to get really, really excited. Barbara, just placed my order. Looking forward to turning the wheel rather than reinventing it. What a good idea. And that's a great metaphor. I love that. What a cool turn of phrase. Yeah, don't need to reinvent it. Just take the wheels that I've created and roll them a little bit. Barbara, we're in a good place. You're going to have some fun. Brett. What about executive coaching where the client isn't necessarily the ultimate decision maker? So you've got like a client and you've got a purse holder, like a financial decision maker. Totally. Yeah, so my system will show you how to do that. Like I've said a couple of times, Brett, I would say I'm about 85 to 90% perfect for you, and given what you've told me here, the details that I haven't read out, 85 to 90% perfect. So I'd say if you've got a 100% perfect solution, feel free to go that way. If you don't, let's jump in together for 6 weeks, and at the end of 6 weeks and 2 months of free coaching with me, if we haven't totally nailed it, then just let me know and we'll refund. Is that cool? I'll buy it back from you. I'd love to get say 100%. I can look at you in the eye and say 100% for sure. I'm going to say 90% for sure, and if it doesn't, I'll buy it back and no hard feelings. Brett, does that help? Is that fair enough? Sonia has saying, please can you answer my question? Sonia, I think I've answered your question. Your question's about going away. Is that right? If your date is in the next 60 days, yes. If it's after that, don't join me right now. Sonia, does that help? If it's in the next 60 days, you join right now. You get an email from Ashley saying, here's a username and password. Just hit reply to that and let her know your date, and we will make that work if it's in the next 60 days. If it's longer than that, yeah, don't join me right now. I really want people who are committed right now. Sonia, does that help? Let's have a look. Dude, there's way more questions than I thought. Now let's have a look. Barry, thanks, Taki. Just signed up. Thanks, mate. We'll take care of that California thing if that was you. Philippe Carlier. Bonjour, my friend. I'm not sure if you're French, but your name sounds it. Do we need an existing warm list to make this work? No. This is built for assuming that you don't have anything. You don't have a list at all. And so we'll help you get the warm list, and then we'll help you get them up into appointments and into clients. Does that make sense, Philippe? So yeah, if you don't have a warm list, this is like literally, it's like imagine you're at ground zero, like zero, nothing, no list, no leads, like no database, no nothing. So this is about how do I get a list? How do I get leads? How do I get appointments? And how do I get clients from scratch, Philippe? So yeah, if you don't have anything, I'll step you through, and like by week 2 and week 3, you'll start to have that list popping in. You cool, Philippe? Does that make sense? So if you're worried, like I don't have everything in place yet, you're not meant to have everything in place. That's what you need me for. Okay. Simon, is the $497 deal still good beyond today? No, the retail price for this is $1,497, so $1,000 more. Simon, tell me a little bit more about your specific question and I'll answer it. So no, that's today. That's today. Zena says, hey, I'm in, I think. Zena, I hope you're in. I can check later, but Zena, I'm excited about working with you. And if you have any doubts about that, give me your contact details and we'll just double check and check that you're in. Cool. Ben says, awesome. Kerry just wants to confirm the 2 months free trial starts right now, so that'll take you through your blitz and a few weeks afterwards. Does that make sense, Kerry? So you're gonna, that way I can kind of start coaching you right now. We don't have to wait. Okay, so you'll get the content right now and coaching with me right now. Cool, Kerry? So 2 months free starts right now, just to confirm. Barbara, it's been fun hanging out. Thank you. Hey, Sonia Polion, you have asked me a really good question, but you've asked me 5 times and I've tried to answer it 3 times. So if I haven't answered it to your satisfaction, I really apologize. In the next 60 days, yes. If it's after that, no. Sonia, does that help? Paula Black, just been advised it's not a month, it's a few months longer than that. Could this time frame still work for me? Paula, you're probably referring to something that you said before, Paula. I'm not sure what that was. Can you type in details and I'll get to you? Leanne Isaacson, so looking forward to working with you. I'm so looking forward to working with you too. I mean, is this lifetime membership or is it over after the 6 weeks? No. You've got access to the Blitz forever. How much longer is the webinar going to run for? I need to get on with my day. Get on with your day. I'd like the slides and recordings. Yeah, go right now. You don't need to stick around. I'll get them to you. Cool? Leanne, sneaky question. That's an insider's question, and if you ask me on the next live coaching call, I'll show you. Deal? But it'll have to be our little secret, how to do the iPad thing. How do you get username and email? Yes, it will be sent by email. Irene, can you help me work out which area to coach in, as I've so many areas I could do, or shall I set up for all of them? No. In week 1, I'm going to help you pick the best person to focus on right now. You can coach anyone about everything, but you shouldn't. Especially if you're thinking about getting clients, it's much, much easier if you have one person to think about and to approach and to reach out to. So it'll be easier for you, more clear and more focused, Irene, and it'll be much easier for them because they'll know that you're talking just to them as well. Philippe, I say thank you too. Hey, welcome, man. I'm really pumped. May your health guy, my health guy should help me with that cough. Totally. It's been bugging me all day. Zena, my birthday's on January 8th. Big one, want to really make things happen before then. Totally. Let's smash it, Zena. Jane, I've got your name here. I've signed up. Thank you. Reply to your welcome email thank you. Got that, Denise. You're good. Thanks, Helen. No, sir, I've got your message. Awesome. Ben, the 2 times 297 deal is today only. Like literally in a minute, I'm going to hang up the webinar, and within 24 hours, that page will go down. Okay. Barry, got your message. Rock and roll. Jill, got your message. Perfect. Jane Anderson, got your message. Perfect. Sonia, got your message. Perfect. You're welcome. Put no state, says Zena. Welcome, Irene. That's what I did because I'm in the UK too. There's an option called no state for everyone in the UK. Thanks, Zena. That's really helpful. Simon, what I mean is it possible to identify people who are interested in the mind stuff, or do I have to pick a specific market and sell the mindset stuff to them? Is business owners too vague? No, business owners is fine. Business owners is totally fine. Hey, Leanne said, hey, I got my confirmation email at 8:57 your time, so I've been exploring your site for 45 minutes already. Leanne, awesome. Cecilia, you're in Portugal. Bom dia. I lived in Brazil for a little bit, so my Portuguese is a little bit different to yours. But Cecilia, yeah, totally. I've got coaches in Portugal who are using my system and it's working. This webinar was fantastic content. Thank you so much for your expertise. You're welcome. Barry says, I'm in the UK, Gloucestershire. I've entered California. Looks like it's worked. Okay, good, Barry. That'll be our little secret. I'll fix that. Great call. Really interested. Send me your slides, please. Totally, Isabel. Can do. Really enjoyed the session. Here's my email. Done. Besides the live coaching webinars, is there any one-on-one sessions with you in this amazing offer? There's one-on-one for the first 4 people, Amanda Levy. And when we do the live coaching webinars, there's a group on the line, but you'll ask me your question and I'll unmute you and we'll have a one-on-one session for 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever we need to help get you the results. Is that cool? But other people will be there too. Rosalind Yee, I've got your message here. Can you type in your contact details, please? Your name and your phone number and your email address and your country, and we will, one of my awesome assistants will get in touch with you personally to make sure we look after that. Rosalind Yee, I've got your message. Hey, can I issue a receipt? Ashley will do that. Yeah, Ashley's going to send you a receipt. Jane, got your message? Hey, Julie, you don't have to stay on now. Okay, everybody's attention. If you are on the webinar still, just because you want a copy of my slides, you have my blessing and you may leave if you'd like. I will send you a copy of the slides. You've waited more than long enough. I've said that a couple of times. Just want to make sure you know. Rosalind. Got your message, Rosalind? Contact details and we will help you personally. Barry got your message. Zena got your message. Petzer, you're welcome. 4 a.m. you started, Petzer. I'm so glad to help. Huge thanks. Need to go to bed. Me too. Okay. Looking forward to getting started. Signed on late. Please send me the recording slides. Can do. No worries. I'm off for a beer to celebrate joining and then going to get started in a couple of hours. Franco, love your style, dude. Only joking about the beer. Hey, it's up to you. Each to his own. See you on the webinar call shortly. Totally, bro. Dinner time, Taki. Thanks. Catch you later. Thanks, Darren. Nomiki, I have a couple of friends who may want your program. Will there be a replay available or can I sign up to be your affiliate? We do have an affiliate program and everyone who's a member is able to do that. Feel free to send when you get the email from Joe with the recording, or from me or Joe with the recording, then feel free to forward that on to whoever you'd like to. Cool? Carl White, great info. Thanks for your perseverance. You're welcome, mate. See you soon. Been exploring my site for nearly an hour. Yeah. Thank you, Philippe. Maureen, still can't access the website. Hey, Maureen, I'm not sure what the problem is. Let me send you this right now. Startmyblitz.com. Seems to have worked for a bunch of people. If you're having trouble with that, Maureen, and you'd like someone just to kind of set it all up for you personally and just look after you one-on-one, really happy to arrange that. No worries. I've got just the most beautiful, amazing team, and they're totally here for you. And so if you give me your contact details, so your name and your email address and your phone number and what country you're in, I'll totally make sure that we contact you within 24 hours and look after you personally, and we'll still hold all the bonuses just for you. Does that make sense? Irene, got your message? Deal, paid $4.97 just for the iPad tip. Lol. Hey, Leanne, no worries. What's the link for the replay? We will email it out. We've just got to upload it to the website, okay? Hey, Zena, got your message. Leanne in South Australia. Do I know who the first four are yet? Hey, John, wasn't you quick enough? I'm not sure, dude. You probably were. I haven't checked. I've been too busy helping people with their questions. Rosalind, got your message. Thank you. I've got that. Yay, I'm in. I got my username and password and my invoice. Zena, rock and roll. Have to go. Sorry about this. Take it, Taki it away, bro. As the Americans might say, I'm English. Hey, Richard, thanks, dude. Thanks for the webinar. Great experience. Enjoy it. Is it possible you respond in words for the possibility to make business with you? Join your program. Payment. Luca, I've got your message. I'd love to do that, mate, but it's just not how we work. I think there's a real power, and I know this sounds weird, but I'd be doing you a disservice. You've just got to find a way to make it work. $1,497 in 6 weeks' time. I think there's a real principle for everybody, and I just want to let everybody know this. Every time I do a webinar, there's always some people who are kind of, I don't know your situation, but kind of, hey, can I apply the stuff and and when it works, then pay you. I call that IFCOME, not income, and my accountant really likes income. So I just don't do that. I've tried to make it as available as I possibly can. 2 payments of $297. And if you can't do that, you know what? If it's not a yes right now, it's a no, and just be cool with that, Luca. Does that make sense? Roy, I've got to go to Pilates and stretch myself. Hey, enjoy that. Thanks for taking the time to answer the myriad of questions, including patient repeats of the information already provided. Thanks, Roy. Appreciate your time. It's been fun hanging out. Beth says, yay, I've signed up. When's the first webinar? I'm not sure where you are in the world, but it's Friday morning here in Australia, which would be Thursday night in the UK and Thursday afternoon in the US. You'll get an email about it really, really soon. Maureen, got your details? Just need a phone number. Maureen O'Neill, phone number if you need help. Julia, I'll be in Sydney first 2 weeks of November. Any chance of hooking up? Totally, Julia. Just flick us an email and say, hey, I'm going to be in town this date, and hey, if I'm around, I'd love to catch up. Cool. Tony got your message. Thank you. Luca, thank you. Appreciate it, and thanks for understanding. Thanks, Maureen. Got your message. Hey, guess what? It's 10:01 p.m. and 19 seconds. There's still 52 people on the webinar right now, and I just hit the bottom of the questions. Woohoo! I've lost my voice. I've had a really good time. I feel like we've probably answered this. Can you do me a favor? Let's do one thing. I feel like I've given a ton for the last long time. Thank you so much for sticking on. Can I ask you a massive favor? I'm going to just put I'm going to ask you a fave. If you're on the webinar right now and you're a client, I'm really looking forward to working with you. If you're on the webinar right now and you're not a client, that's totally okay. I hope you got tons of value. Could you do me a favor? Could we be friends on Facebook? Could you go to Facebook right now and then just leave a comment about what was the best thing about this webinar? I'm going to type in a little website for you right now. So you go to www.facebook.com/TakiMore. I'd just love to know what was the best thing for you. And this isn't part of the webinar. Let's just have some fun. Facebook.com/TakiMore. If you're on the webinar right now, I'd love to, just be my friend. And secondly, just type in a comment on my wall about what was your best thing from the webinar today. Could you do that for me? That would be magic. I'm going to stay on the webinar for about 3 more minutes just to answer any other questions, but I'm going to give you a second right now. To say hi on Facebook and just tell me what was the #1 best thing for you. Leanne, I'm going to be in Sydney for a few days next week. Love to catch up as well. Killer. So just let us know where you're going to be. I live up on the northern beaches of Sydney in Avalon, so maybe we could grab a coffee or a burger or something like that. Okay. Or Irene, looking forward to working with you too. Thank you. Awesome. You guys totally rock. In fact, I'm going to go over to Facebook right now and kind of see what you guys are saying. It's been really fun. I love this webinar. It's been really fun hanging out with you. Appreciate your time so much. Hey, it's just been great. And as you can see, it's 10:03 here in Sydney. Let's just go here. All right. So I'm looking for some comments on Facebook, dude. So there's some messages. Messages are cool too. And some friend requests. Awesome. Guys, let's call the webinar done. Hey, I reckon good work has been done here. I'll make sure we email out a copy of the recording. It's getting kind of late, so it might be first thing tomorrow morning. Hope you'll forgive me. And we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody. And I'm just going to hang around on Facebook a bit and say good day personally, kind of welcome my new buddies. It's good to know you. Cool. I'm going to hang up the webinar, and I've loved every second of this. And Philippe says, you're a good marketer. That's very cool, the Facebook request. Yeah, I hadn't really thought of it. It wasn't strategic. It was just to say good day. I think you need to accept my friend request to be able to write on my wall. Oh, dang. What a fantastic session. Thank you, Taki. Great work. Well, I'm just going to accept the friend request right now. And I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to confirm all these friend requests. Let's do that. And feel free to send me a message. I'd love that if you could, hey? Dude, it's so late. I can't believe we're still on 3 hours later. What on earth were we thinking? So fun. Oh. All right, dudes. Listen, let's just hang up right now. What do you reckon, hey? Messages are popping up, so I don't know how to turn that. I might just move this so that personal messages don't show up on the screen. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to hang up the webinar. I'd love to, say good day to you on Facebook, so please do have me as a friend. It's been really fun. Good night in Australia. Good morning in the UK. And if you type in your details and you want somebody to be in touch, yeah, we'll be in touch within 24 hours. We'll call you personally and we'll send you an email just to let you know we're about to do that. Cool? You guys rock. I'll talk to you soon.